on the hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Federal Judge James Boasberg rejects subpoenas issued to the Federal Reserve by the Justice Department earlier this year. CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum.
At issue is the high cost associated with renovations to the Federal Reserve building and subpoenas issued by the Justice Department that have now been quashed. Powell is arguing that this is a pressure campaign by President Trump to get the Fed chair to lower interest rates.
U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro says she will appeal. A problem at some East Coast airports right now due to an equipment outage. There are ground stops at Baltimore Washington International, Thurgood Marshall Airport, Reagan National, Dulles, and Richmond International Airport in Virginia. And there is a ground delay at Philadelphia International due to an equipment outage. A large explosion rocks an area of Iran's capital where thousands were gathered for an annual state-organized rally to support the Palestinians and call for Israel's demise. Israel had warned that it would operate in the area. It comes after all 6 crew members died in yesterday's U.S. military refueling plane crash in western Iraq. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
War is chaos. And as we saw yesterday with the tragic crash of our KC-135 tanker, bad things can happen.
CBS's Cammie McCormick reports.
2 U.S. officials confirmed the Pentagon is expected to send elements of an amphibious ready group and its Marine Expeditionary Unit to the Middle East. That could mean thousands of sailors and Marines across several warships, including the USS Tripoli, which is in the Pacific and more than a week away from the waters off Iran. It would mark a major increase in troops to the region.
We're getting an update on a story we just told you about air traffic control and some ground stops at airports. The FAA says that it has temporarily stopped traffic at Reagan Washington National Airport, Washington Dulles Airport, and Baltimore Washington Airport because of a strong chemical smell at the Potomac Tracon that is impacting some air traffic controllers. You could be waiting months for your tax return after the Trump administration moves to phase out paper checks. CBS's Allison Keyes.
Democrats on the House Ways and Means Committee say more than 830,000 taxpayers have gotten notices from the IRS saying that their refunds are delayed. The letters say they didn't provide banking information needed to get the refunds via direct deposit. Those affected cannot resolve the issue via phone and must set up an online account to provide their banking information. Advocates warn those delays could be up to 10 weeks. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
The U.S. economy expanded at a sluggish 0.7% in the fourth quarter, and stocks closed down on Wall Street. This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here?
How is this possible? Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60 Minutes.
We continue to monitor road closures and power outages across the region this afternoon. In fact, let's get right to the roads. Here's Lori.
Well, we have a new collision. It's southbound 405 in Bellevue at Northeast 8 that's taking up 2 right lanes and 1 left lane. Linwood to Bellevue, though, I'm only seeing a 1-minute slowdown right now. 18 has reopened in both directions between Issaquah, Hobart, and I-90. But I-90 is closed, and now US 2 is closed, and they're saying no estimated time of reopening and no detours. Tacoma to Olympia right now, a 34-minute delay, which is actually an hour, 20 minutes. Visit Subaru of Puyallup for friendly experts, transparent pricing, genuine care, and savings during the Subaru A Lot to Love event through March 31st. SubaruofPuyallup.com. I'm Lori. KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. As Lori just mentioned, I-90 is closed this afternoon across Snoqualmie Pass from North Bend to Ellensburg, and it could be closed all day.
WashDOT says they are dealing with a ton of spinouts, ton of collisions right now, and that's what they're clearing out. But then even once they get all of those cleared out, those cars towed, they still have about 100 miles of road with snow on it that they then have to plow. On top of that, downed trees.
KIRO 7 TV's Madeline Audley reporting there from North Bend. Some of us were probably surprised to see some snow in the forecast for Seattle in March. Meteorologist Ted Beener says it's certainly not the norm.
So if you look at a bell curve on snow in the Puget Sound area, it peaks in the month of January, and it slopes off on either side going back into the fall, December and November. Also slopes off as you go through February and into March and even April.
That's right. We've seen snow as late as the first 2 weeks of April. Thousands of customers are still without power after Wednesday's windstorms, and now that number has swelled to over 20,000 earlier this morning because of the snow. Andrew Padula is with Puget Sound Energy and says the heavy wet snow is making for more work.
That also creates the challenges and the dangers for our crews that are out there trying to check the lines and prioritize those systems to make sure that everything is working properly. So if they can't get in there due to falling branches or trees, that's going to create some problems for us and delay that restoration effort.
PSC crews have been working around the clock and have brought in more staff from other areas to help with those repair efforts. Here are the current outage numbers, and in fact, they're going up. Puget Sound Energy now just over 38,000. Let's see, Snohomish County PUD still holding steady at 700, and Seattle City Light has gone up to just under 3,000 customers still without power. Lawmakers wrapped up the 2026 session after 60 intense days in Olympia. Much of that time focused on closing a multi-billion-dollar budget gap. And in the final hours, legislators approved an $80.2 billion supplemental budget. That updates a $77.8 billion spending plan already in place for the next 2 years. Democrats also pushed through a new income tax on high earners after more than 24 hours of debate. Republicans voted against it as a bloc. Governor Bob Ferguson called the final deal responsible and said it should make life more affordable for thousands of people across Washington. And now your weather update. A wintry mix continues this afternoon for some of us. Mostly rain at this point, though. A few flakes keep showing up. We'll be lucky if we reach 40 today. Mid-40s tomorrow, upper 40s Sunday with partly sunny skies over the weekend. Light rain and 35 in Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
like this.
Puppies of all ages.
Yes.
Get ready for the greatest show on earth.
Oh, I can't wait for the show. Oh, it's this show? Oh my gosh, you're the puppies. Wow. Gee whiz, thank you for that. How about that? Woo. The John Curley Show is Apparently there's going to be puppies.
Very creative.
Very nice. Thank you, whoever that was. All right. To all the plow men and women that are out there, my buddy Clint tells me they're working 20 hours.
20 hours?
20-hour days.
When did it start snowing?
But, Joe.
Oh, sorry.
I'm trying to give him some love here.
Yeah, no, of course.
For all the men and women out there working the plows, they work 20 hours. Joe's questioning when you started working. 20-hour days. Every plow is out there. 4 feet of snow. And the biggest problem is they're trying to get all the tractor trailers and stuff that have blocked everything. They can't get them in there. The tow trucks can't pull them out fast enough. So the snow is going to continue. They say Clint says the pass will open when it stops snowing.
Ooh. You got to get over it tonight.
Well,
right?
and probably tomorrow morning. All right. There we go. Okay. That's a shout out to everybody except for Joe's trying to hold back.
No, that's not true. I was just asking questions. Hey, does his plow have a name?
Yes, it does. It's well, he's not doing the plow right now. He does another part of it, but the plow he had was Plowy McPlowface. Yes, of course.
Nice.
Yes. All right. All right. I believe this is 1, 2. Wow, 3 pages again? Ooh. How are we ever going to get all this in here, huh? This is, according to Joe, the news. All right, for those of you that are like, I don't believe all that woo-woo stuff, you can ignore the beginning of the show. That's because UFO abductees in it. What's this? This is because somebody said, get a UFO abductee on the show.
You want me to read that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yesterday, Roger in the 206 said, yo, John, get some UFO abductees on your show. That would be fun to listen to. And please get some real Bigfoot experts on your show. Not those yahoos that have the TV shows. They're idiots. Get somebody that might actually be credible. That's something I can get on board with. I think there's Bigfoots everywhere in the U.S.
Nice, Wyatt.
Yes.
Did we get somebody?
We did.
Well, there you go. You see that? It's like going to a restaurant or going to a sandwich place and just ordering what you want.
That's right.
We'll have it all there for you. I was thinking we're going to go up to heaven and come back down. Thank you, Joe, for that. Why it's quick? Huh?
Too early.
What do you mean? That's the.
I know, but we didn't start it yet, right?
What do you mean we didn't start it?
I was thinking.
No, I haven't started it yet.
I know, but he hit the gong.
No, that hasn't started yet.
I know. So.
Okay, Wyatt, just write down Wyatt one screw up already. Wyatt screwed up once. Okay.
That's a fun one.
Bill Gates' ties to Epstein's causing trouble and a situation for the Bellevue Terra Power. Are these the guys that are trying to set up the AI stuff?
No, nuclear power.
Oh, nuclear power, that's right. Which would eventually be able to power the AI. Well, apparently because Bill Gates hung out with two Russian gals and then it's causing problems. And Joe says we finally find out who killed Charlie Kirk. I didn't even look at that story. Gen Z is hanging out at the mall again. Good for you guys. Re-energizing the industry of a bunch of kids hanging around the mall. Why it's back? I don't know. I missed that. I wasn't born in the 80s. Moving into the 90s or hanging out at the mall was a big thing. But apparently they're out there walking around.
Nice.
Hanging out at the mall. Good. Plus, we'll find out how the city of Seattle intends to deal with the declining tax base. The mayor, who I did endorse, and people still here at KIRO blame me for the fact that she won by 2,000 and some votes. On Wednesday, she gave a press conference that has a lot of people that are on the production side. Those are the people that actually build wealth in business and hire people and pay taxes. They were buoyed with some confidence that maybe she starts to realize that you got to take care of the people that actually create the tax base. And the mayor has also called for a 5 to 10% cut across the board. She's asking folks there in the city of Seattle to look for cuts. So that's good.
See? We're playing 5D chess.
Not with a Russian prostitute, though.
No.
Let's see. That thing from at 4:30, we're not doing that. Let me change that.
Okay.
That thing, Bucky's acoustic version. It's going to take up too much time.
Right.
And then, let's see. What else? A whole bunch of other stuff. Pete Hegseth from the Department of War is explaining what's happening now in Iran and some new news there. And we still haven't found out why 300 and some Chinese fishing boats are all formed a weird line, and they're all just waiting. They're not fishing. What are they doing? What are they there for? I wrote to
300
or more. Are you going to correct everything I say?
No, I'm just, okay.
She was. What else? What's page 3? That's the Bigfoot guy.
Yeah.
Coming on at 5:30.
Yep.
Dramatic surge in the Ohio Bigfoot sightings. This has been happening as a guard dog left, shaking with fear. Well, there you go. The guy that asked for us to find some real Bigfoot people, apparently not the jerks that have the TV show, but is this guy the expert in it?
Oh, yeah.
Jeremy Byron. Okay, there we go. All right, I was thinking. For those of you that have heard the story before, bear with me. For those of you that haven't, I will repeat it. I tend to sometimes repeat stories, and those people that listen to every single show, word for word, hour for hour, will be like, heard it already, move on. There are people that haven't heard it. The day my father was dying, September 17th, it was 8:30 in the morning. I know it well because I remember looking at my phone numerous times. Nick and I were sitting in a hotel room in Sonoma, and I was going through the fact that my father was probably going to die that day. My brother had called to say that don't bother getting on the plane. Tell Lace and the kids to not get on the plane. They probably won't make it in time, so why don't you just wait? I then, while given that news that the end of my father's life was coming within hours, I said, okay, well, all right, I'll let her know. And Alaska Airlines was great. They got him off the plane, got them some counseling and talked to them, and I knew that part of my family was safe. I then turned to Nick and I said, it's pretty remarkable for a person my age to only lose 3 people in my life that I care and love so desperately. My Aunt Mary, Lisa Nori, and now my dad. I just counted up the 3. I said, so those 3, that's pretty good to only lose 3 at this point. And suddenly, without any warning, I happened to have my phone in my hand because I had been texting Lace back and forth. Suddenly, across the top of the phone, scrolled, call Kevin Straley. Call Kevin Straley. It was going across the very top of the phone. Call Kevin Straley. I paused and looked at it, and I took a deep breath just for a second, and Nick leaned over and said, what is it? And I said, what does that say? I didn't want to read it again. I didn't want to say anything to her. I just wanted her to see it and read it out loud, and she did. Call Kevin Straley. Call Kevin Straley. It kept going across the top. She paused for a moment, and I said, have you ever seen anything like that before? Across the top of the phone. Look at it. It's going across the top of the phone. Scrolling like a banner ad. Who's Kevin Straley, she said. I said, well, Straley, oh, my God. Straley died in a motorcycle accident on I-90 a couple of years ago, and he and I traveled around the world shooting stories for EV Magazine. We went to just about every single country you could probably imagine. And call Kevin Straley. Call Kevin Straley. Kept coming across the top of the phone. And I put the phone down. I sort of laughed for a moment. I looked up to the ceiling of the hotel room, and I said, okay, I've lost 4 people that I care and love. My Aunt Mary, Lisa Nori, my dad now, within hours, and Kevin Straley. I didn't bother to look to see whether the scrolling had stopped, but I kind of laughed at Straley, thinking, well, if anybody's going to jump in this incredible moment, it would probably be somebody like that. I didn't realize at the time, because I had so many other things to deal with, like my father's pending demise. It wasn't until later on that it started to hit me that was a bizarre experience. I told other people about it, even called Kevin's wife, Sheila, and told her she wasn't surprised by it. But that was about, 2018. And then on Monday, Joe sent me this podcast of these individuals that examine past life experiences, near-death experiences, telepathy. And it's an amazing podcast because it's not only stories that have been vetted by scientists, not by people that we always just sort of write off as woo-woo people. They're called the telepathy tapes. And I was listening to one, and I thought, well, I've now experienced some of the stuff. Someone from the other side had contacted me. And what it gave me, as I thought about it later on, and I still remember, and I still draw some comfort from this, is that somebody could leave this plane, this body, this organs and bones and flesh and everything, and then go somewhere and then still be in our lives somewhere. And I came across the story of Dr. Alexander. Now, his father was a famed neurologist, and he was as well. He was adopted, and he became quite well-known and well-respected in the world of neurology. And on November 4th at 4:30 in the morning in 2008, he woke up, grand mal seizures. He had E. coli bacteria, which normally doesn't show itself in adults. It's normally something that a child can get. And his entire brain was filled, as he describes, with pus. And all parts of the brain, all 8 sections of the brain that would give him some sort of consciousness were completely shut down. He had no ability to fire off any neurological impulses, because often in near-death experiences, doctors will say, well, that's just simply the brain's dying and it's sort of firing off a bunch of images, and that's how they write all the stuff off. But in this case, for Dr. Alexander, he had no brain capacity at all. And his coma went on for, I think, 7 days or 10 days. And on the 9th day, the doctors took him from a 10% chance of recovery down to 2% and told his family, Dr. Alexander's family that was gathered nearby, that they should just unplug and let nature take its course. His son Bond overheard this and ran into the room and grabbed his father's eyelids and pulled them open And when you're in that kind of coma state, one eye was to the left, the other was looking down or up to the right. It must have been quite shocking for the son. But he said to his father, "You can't die, Dad. You can't die. Please, please, I need you. I need you." And pleaded with him to live. And within a couple of hours, Mr. Alexander came back. But in the time from his coma, where he was in the hospital, to the point that his son pulled his eyelids back open again, Dr. Alexander experienced near-death experience. And he explains the whole thing of where he was sort of in an earthworm position, covered by darkness, and it was cold and lonely. And then he suddenly was pulled forward and up through a light. You've heard these stories before. There was a guardian angel that was with him and taking him through all of these layers. He said he was like a small little speck on the wing of a butterfly. He finds out later on, after he remembers the face of the guardian angel. Normally the guardian angels are somebody that's passed that you know. He finds out that he had a sister that was also adopted. So he didn't know this until he did some research, and the face of the angel was the face of his adopted sister, who he had never met before, but guided him through this near-death experience. He comes back to Earth, and he says he realized at this point that this is just temporary, that really the great good stuff, the proof of heaven, is there. He has a book that came out, had been republished again in 2022, called The Proof of Heaven. So I've done more research into this. I've done more time reading and watching. And I came across this guy because, okay, so we're here on this earth. We do all these stories about all this crap, right? And then when people leave the earth and all this stuff where we hate one another and all the death and mayhem and anger and resentment, then you come back to earth. And then what is the lesson? Well, there's another guy that experienced a near-death experience. He had the flu, is nearly fatal for him. And he explains what it was like going there and then coming back to Earth. And he explains it changes his perspective for everything now.
You know, when we live our life and our vibration is low because we've been selfish and self-centered and mean-spirited. And, you know, we all know these people. We've all met them. And when we leave our bodies, when we die and leave our bodies, our vibration is going to match that low vibration of those lower places. And that's where we'll be stuck. It's not forever. It's just till we sort out where we went wrong in this life. And because we are these infinite, amazing beings.
Yeah, so then in this little horrible worm situation that they described, that's where you sort of realize, okay, I need to be a better person. I guess that'd be considered hell. And then once you sort of figure that out, the vibrations change, and then you come through that kind of wormhole, that little dirty area, and then you're freed into this other space. And then those that come back again now have the gift to realize this stuff is so temporary and it doesn't really matter. And you should just try to be good to one another. And then, you know, you'll pass on, and then you'll be in a place where everybody you loved and everybody you knew, you're going to be in this, like, you'll be encircled by a feeling of love. So you realize, you're like, okay, well then, should we even bother doing these stupid stories right here? It's very freeing. It makes you feel like you go to some event and it's crappy and everybody's in there. It's all, you know, horrible food and people are talking about dumb stuff. You're like, is there another room somewhere? Something better? Better? There's got to be a better place. Well, apparently, according to now a world-renowned doctor who's people that normally were poo-pooing all these near-death experiences, they said, well, this guy, after they did the review of his near-death experience, doctors that reviewed it and peer review said, no, this is a perfect example that it's not just the brain dying, firing off, neurological, electrical impulses. This guy did not have a functioning brain, but he had a consciousness. So his near-death experience, and his life now has completely changed how science looks at it. There we go. Hit the gong, please, there, Wyatt. All right.
We could do one of those a day.
We're still trying to get that. We're trying to get the lady on that wrote the book called The Light Between Us.
We'll get her.
Okay, good. We'll get her. All right. I'll give you a shoulder $5 if you get her.
Ooh.
All right. No more Snickers bars. All right. Here's Lori checking traffic. Lori.
Traffic is brought to you by Seattle Sports. We're just getting word that all lanes of northbound 99 at the First South Bridge have reopened. There is a reduced speed limit of 25 miles an hour. Again, all lanes of 99, the First South Bridge, have reopened. It was supposed to be late tonight, but we got that early during our afternoon commute. Southbound 405 at Northeast 8, the collision taking up 2 right lanes and a left lane. Linwood to Bellevue seeing about a 2-minute slowdown. 18, of course, is reopened both directions between Issaquah, Hobart, and I-90. Tacoma to Olympia now an hour, 20 minutes. I-90 still closed. US 2 still closed. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial at 97.3 HD2. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Thank you, Lori. A lot of people do some spring cleaning after the snow leaves, and they'll normally do the 3 big, boxes, right? That toss it, donate it, and keep it. But then a lot of times people have so much extra stuff that they end up renting one of those, temporary storage units, which costs a lot of money. The stuff sits in there. You don't think about it. And every single month you're paying because you just don't have enough space at home. Well, maybe what you really need are brand new closets, some way to store everything that you've got. When we had Closets by Design come in, and we did the same thing. We had 3 boxes, and we still had so much stuff. But then once Closets by Design came in and completely redesigned how we stored everything, especially in the garage and upstairs on the second floor, the master bedroom, the other closets, all of a sudden we had all this space. I said, Nick, we're not going to rent some storage unit. We've got it made here. Closets by Design, they're a local company, been around for 22 years. They're family run. They're going to give you the complete customization without the big price. They're going to give you 40% off. Closets by Design gets you 15% off and 18 months financing and free installation. 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's Closets by Design.
March is an exciting time to be in the garden, especially if you'd love to be growing your own delicious fruit or berries. Hi, I'm Gabby, veggie, herb, and strawberry buyer here at Sky Nursery. This month only, we have a wide variety of Northwest-grown bare root strawberry bundles, a great way to save a lot of money on planting your own berry patch. We also have tons of blueberries, raspberries, and kiwi, as well as persimmon, fig, plum trees, and more. Come on into Sky, because there's nothing like the taste of your very first fruit that you grew yourself. Visit skynursery.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Your new home is now ready. D.R. Horton, America's builder, has new homes that are ready today. With new construction communities throughout the Puget Sound and Central Washington areas and more coming, D.R. Horton has the right home for you. At D.R. Horton, we're still building with more construction, more communities, and more homes available every day. Find your new home, now ready at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Researchers have found a direct correlation between daylight saving time and increased car accidents. If you're in a car accident, call CAR. The Herald Car Law offices will save you time and money. When it comes to medical bills, repair costs, missing wages, or non-economic damages, Herald Car Law offices can deal with the insurance company so you don't have to. Find out more at carlaw.com. That's C-A-R-R, carlaw.com. Car accident? call CAR.
You know the one question that guys hate to have asked of them by their wives, Nick?
I can take a good guess.
I know you know 100 of them. This is the worst one. Do these jeans make my butt look big?
Whoa.
Can't answer that one, right? What I've noticed is whenever you ask me questions like that, I just simply say, oh, I don't know. What did the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic say?
Well, the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic would tell me that my butt looks great in those jeans now that my hormones are balanced.
What'd they do? Did they give you something to bring your weight down?
No, just a result of having my hormones balanced caused me to lose weight. Who would have known? I had no idea that would be a result of it.
So that's good. So the answer is you look great. You're beautiful.
I feel great. I look great.
Yeah.
And I know it.
I've also noticed that your testosterone makes you a little feistier than you normally are, as my beautiful Greek wife.
I might be small, but I have a loud bark.
Yes, you do. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. It's been a busy and dangerous day for WashDOT. The DOT's Lauren Paget spoke with KIRO 7.
On US 2 east of Skycomish, we did have a brief blocking incident. And in that case, one of our snowplows was struck by a falling tree.
No one was hurt, and the driver will be back on the job tonight. We're seeing a lot of rain and snow across the region, but it's not enough to put a dent in the region's ongoing drought. Larry O'Neill, the state climatologist of Oregon, says we need much more to add to our snowpack in the Cascades and the Olympics.
Without that snowpack, we know for sure that we'll have water supply issues because that natural reservoir is much lower than normal.
O'Neill says the below average snowpack will likely mean impacts to food supplies, hydropower and electricity, and potentially more wildfires this summer. O'Neill says Oregon is experiencing its second worst snowpack in state history. The man convicted of a hate crime in last year's brutal beating of a trans woman in the U District was back in court today and was sentenced to prison. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details.
39-year-old Andre Carlo walked into the courtroom facing a maximum of 7 years in prison for his attack on Andy Hoseppel, who was not in the courtroom. Prosecutors asked for the max, and that was the sentence handed down by Judge Jim Rogers, but not before hearing a statement from Miss Hoseppel read by a victim's advocate.
This man intruded himself into my life and permanently altered my existence. No matter how long or severe their sentence, I will forever live in fear.
Carlo walked out of the courtroom and into another where he was expected to be sentenced for a separate misdemeanor case. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Everett now has a new law making it a crime to expose children to several illegal drugs. Police told the council the move fills a gap in the state law, according to the Herald. The state only covers methamphetamine. Everett's ordinance adds Schedule 1 and Schedule 2 drugs, including fentanyl, heroin, and cocaine. According to the Everett Herald, officers used reckless endangerment before, but this gives them a clearer charge. And now let's head over to that busy real-time traffic desk and get a check on the commute with Lori.
Traffic is brought to you by Seattle RV Show. And Nate, you heard about the news about the First South Bridge?
No, tell me.
Reopened early.
Hey-o.
I know. Northbound lanes of the First South Bridge reopened, but just 25 miles an hour. That's fast you can go. South Center to Alderwood, 405, 53 minutes. If you take I-5, it's an hour. Southbound 405 at 520. Looks like the right toll lane is blocked with a collision. Just seen a 1 minute slowdown, Linwood to Bellevue. We've mentioned this. 18 has reopened both directions between Issaquah, Hobart, and I-90. But the bad news is not only is I-90 closed, US 2 is closed overnight. That's our latest estimation. Don't miss the Seattle RV Show now through the 15th at Lumen Field Event Center. Shop over 400 new models for every budget and lifestyle. Get tickets at seattlervshow.com. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Thank you, Lori. And that closure on Highway 2 is from the Summit over to Coles Corner. Rain sticks around all day into the evening with cool temps today. We might reach 40. Another chilly night with the low near freezing. Cloudy and 36 in downtown. 36 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hang on. Home Comfort Alliance, when it comes to heating and cooling and plumbing and electric, there's only one place to call. That's Home Comfort Alliance. Make your home comfort Hey, it's kind of a Buc-ee's thing, Joe.
Oh, right, sorry.
What do you say? Text what? Huh?
There's just a lot of text coming in on the monologue, as we call it.
Are they all part of that? They all your dad's experience?
Can I read one for you?
Yeah, sure.
I won't say who sent it in, but last time I tried to kill myself, my heart stopped. While I was gone, I had a vision of the man carrying me across the sticks. I was told it wasn't time, that I still had to pay for prior bad acts in a previous life. And if I were to do this again, I would only come back to live this life again. So here I am finishing my sentence. Which is, I mean, this life is like the sentence. It's the class.
Yeah.
We graduate.
And then the questions are always, do you come back again to for lack of a better word, vibrate at a higher frequency and to be a quote-unquote better person here? As the Dr. Anderson, as we were talking about earlier, he said, in the next life, there is no good or bad, that it's just all love. That's it. And the knowledge is that you gain, if you're fortunate enough to go there and then come back, is like just be a good person. Just selfless acts for others.
It helps you make that vibrational transition a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
It's more difficult to graduate, as they say.
Yeah. And then people experiment with various drugs and stuff to try to get past it. What's the name of that? The salesman's
DMT.
DMT. So they take that, and it apparently is the exact same chemicals released there that your brain releases at the time of death. So then they have this experience where they sort of leave their body like for 30 minutes or something, and then they have a different consciousness. And then because the brain's job is to restrict all stimuli into something that you can rationally react to. So
filter out
and it filters out everything else. So it's constantly filtering things out. They're through meditation, sacred harmonies is an acoustic sound that you can get, and apparently that helps create your vibrations to move your body beyond that consciousness. And then people are like, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, why not? Why? Listen, for all the people. And I have many in my family that are like, oh, yeah, all right, whatever. And even Sean, our buddy Sean, when I told him about the thing coming across the top of the screen, he's like, yeah, right. Even that guy.
Oh, we'll work on Sean. And by the way,
yes, Joe.
It also, people will say, well, this conflicts with my religion. But if you look into it enough and you study it enough, it really doesn't. In fact, it melds perfectly well with
all the religions. Yes, exactly. Because this guy, Bill Letson, who had the near-death experience, he said, and so did Anderson, said that, look, it's the same thing that what any religious leader, love your neighbor as yourself, do good works, try not to harbor anger and resentment and all those other things. Jesus comes here, teaches us all that sort of stuff. Says, hey, if you want to get to heaven, you'll experience not heaven, but you'll just be a better person here, and you'll go to that other place. Believe me, you go to the other place, it's going to be a hell of a lot better. I don't think he said hell.
No. All life is sacred. If you have to take it, make sure you honor it.
Wow, Joe, deep stuff here. We have a sound effect for Joe's deep stuff? All right, we'll take that.
Nice.
And while all that's going on, well, they had some sort of meeting of some sort. It was over in Bellevue. And Bellevue, Washington, the business involving Epstein's money. So there is this TerraPower, which was getting started in 2006. And Bill Gates was part of it. And Intellectual Ventures, they decided they're going to start to spend money about nuclear power. Amazing. People talk about nuclear power. Why not nuclear? So get started in 2006. They had this town hall meeting. And some of the employees there, some of the women were saying, will we feel safe and respected with the future board meetings because Bill Gates is there, gets tied in with Epstein. So then they had to do a lot of explaining to everybody. Basically, look, the whole Epstein files and all that Epstein stuff is terrible. We are not connected directly with any of that. Details of the Epstein's relationship and prominent elected business leaders were revealed in the millions of pages. But you're okay. We're not. They're trying to distance themselves, even though Bill is one of the venture capitalist folks that was pushing all this in the beginning. They just trying to create some space, as they say, between Bill Gates and what Bill is accused of by some, and TerraPower. They haven't done anything to sort of slow anything down. They're still going to continue to invest in it. It's still a forward moving corporation. But they just, after they had this meeting on Thursday, they wanted to make sure, like, hey, is it going to be bad? Is the whole thing going to get taken down? Are we going to find new things that are going to have to cause us to change the direction of TerraPower? And now I have no idea what this is. I'm about to press the button, and it's written above it, one of Kirk's last episodes. When did Charlie Kirk? We can do it in this minute, in the amount of time? Sure. Okay. With hundreds of others have been deleted on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and many of which have been scrubbed from YouTube. He breaks down the theory of who Epstein is. Here we go.
Epstein, with his little friend Ghislaine and Ghislaine's father, Robert Maxwell, who was obviously a spy of the Israeli intelligence agencies, was not some sort of whiz-kid hedge fund manager. Epstein was playing a part. Epstein was cast for a specific role, and he played it really well. The sweatpants and the Harvard jacket, the kind of disheveled hair, looking as if he was so smart and above the clouds that he was doing advanced mathematic equations on the back of napkins. But if you actually go into some of the videos of people that met with Epstein at the time, they said he was awfully unimpressive when it came to finance and markets and economics. It's nothing new that if you're in the intel agencies, you want to try and get as much blackmail on powerful people as possible.
Okay.
Easy, not hard.
Uh-huh.
And this is no longer just speculation. First of all, the evidence that shows that Epstein was a creation of either Mossad, Israeli intelligence, American intelligence, Saudi intelligence, or maybe he was just a hired gun. Maybe he was just the guy that countries would go to and park a couple $100 million and say, hey, can you get one of the members of the royal family with a 13-year-old so we can get them to do what we want to do? Members of Congress are actively being blackmailed. The Epstein playbook is being used on a daily basis. Jeffrey Epstein was a key player in a multi-decade blackmail operation against the most powerful people on the planet.
Is any revelations there? That doesn't seem to be that new.
No, it's just news. It's new that was, among other things, what Charlie was hot on the heels of.
So they say then that's who they killed him because of all that?
He wouldn't be the first.
How's that rabbit down there, Joe?
A little hungry.
Okay. Here comes Lori checking traffic. Good news about I-90. Here we go.
Yeah, we've got, I-90 closed overnight between North Bend and Ellensburg, so looking like it's going to open tomorrow. US 2 closed west of the Summit overnight at Coles Corner to 14 miles west of Leavenworth. Tacoma to Olympia now, an hour and 33 minutes. Linwood to Bellevue, 9 minutes slowdown. Linwood to Seattle, just 17 minutes. Looks like they may have cleared that collision 405 at 520. It was in the right toll lane. And we're getting word that all the lanes of northbound 99 of the First South Bridge have reopened with a reduced speed limit of 25 miles an hour. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Insulation rebates from PSE are at historic highs. American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $3 million in PSE insulation rebates last year, more than any contractor in Washington. Homeowners, business owners, and PSE trust American Crawl Space and Pest Services. Was your home built before 1990? Visit AmericanCrawl.com to see how much you can save on replacing your insulation.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Many financial plans include some level of tax awareness. When retirement begins, considering taxes isn't enough. One overlooked tax decision can quietly cost families thousands over time. At Madrona Financial and CPAs, your plan isn't built around products. It's built around coordination. Licensed CPAs and experienced advisors working together, aligning investments, retirement income, and intergenerational planning using tax-efficient strategies. Padrona Financial and CPAs. Planning built on credentials. Padrona Financial Services is an SEC registered investment advisor.
If your home is 20 years old or more, it might be time to have your roof checked. Your roof is your home's first line of defense, and at Guardian, we help it last as long as possible. That's why every new install comes protected with a full year of free maintenance on us. Visit us at GuardianRoofing.com.
If you've saved more than $300,000, there's one thing you can do now that could make your savings go twice as far in retirement, and it's tax planning. That's right, tax planning could significantly reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, Social Security benefits, and other investment income. Charlie Harger here. Find out how much money you could save with a free retirement tax savings analysis from the good people at Boss Retirement Solutions. To schedule your free analysis, call 206-210-1350. Tax planning for retirement could reduce your taxes not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. And the savings could be six figures. Let's find out how much money you could save. Call 206-210-1350. 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
In the market for a new Subaru? Do what I did and make it easy on yourself. Ursula Reutin here. Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealership with the largest selection in our state. More than 700 Subarus are ready to roll. And right now, get a 2025 Subaru Crosstrek with 2.9% financing for 36 months on approved credit. Shop now during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline or Ballard, or shop online at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 3/31/26. Find your pot of gold at Lake Washington Windows and Doors with savings up to 20% on new windows and doors for your home. Plus, enjoy easy 12-month same as cash financing. Strike gold today. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But for a truly elevated experience, you've got to be in a Mariner Suite. A suite is the perfect spot to get your game and celebration on. Birthday, promotion, engagement, company team building that actually team builds. No matter your event, we've got a suite you'll love. Group suites can fit 30 to 400 people for big-time bashes. And private suites offer just that, an upscale experience for more intimate gatherings. All Mariner Suites offer an incredible view of the ballpark, so you can't go wrong. Plus, you and your guests will enjoy premium catering, VIP parking, private Skybridge entry, and more. And season ticket members get 15% off. Reserve your suite today at mariners.com/suites.
Bases clearing, 3-run double by Josh Naylor. Holy smokes, the Mariners have the lead.
Mariners baseball, Trident's up.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds, and you're overweight. Winner, winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you, with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So, yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou, because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds, too. Get a quote right now at 800-529-2856, 800-529-2856, or biglou.com.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Now back to our battles here on Earth. FBI just releases a warning, said California, warns California police that Iran could be possibly wanting to attack the coastline of California with drones, launching a retaliatory strike on the West Coast, according to multiple outlets. The agency says the Joint Task Force sent memos to the police department late February that Iran allegedly aspired to conduct surprise attacks using unmanned aerial vehicles from an unidentified vessel off of the coast. So that they are on high alert. If you're keeping track, there's been 5 individuals in America that have been inspired and radicalized by ISIS. So I think the first one was in Austin, if I remember correctly, or Austin, Texas. That guy with the Allah Akbar and
you mean 5 since the war started?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's that one, and then of course we had the 2 yesterday. One at Old Dominion, Virginia. The guy that had been in prison, I think, for 14 years for aspiring to kill people because of his new philosophy of killing everybody with the sort of scorched earth ISIS view of the world. He got out of jail, I think, after 14 years and went into ROTC office there on the campus of Old Dominion. I think he shot and killed one. And one of the ROTC officers got up with a knife and finished that guy off. At the same time, I think about an hour earlier, or it's in the same day as of yesterday, the guy who's lost family members in Lebanon decided he was going to drive his car into a synagogue there in Michigan. And he drives his car right in there and then starts driving down the hallway. They don't know if he died from the fire, from being shot. He was trying to kill as many people as he could there. No one died there other than the attacker. There were 3 other attacks as well, also ISIS-related individuals here on the U.S. soil. So people are on high alert because they radicalize. We saw this right after September 11th. We saw some various attacks that occurred during the Obama administration. I looked up to see if they're still funding, if the FBI is still funding, which started in 2001 and went on. And about by 2014, they kind of closed it all down. I don't know if they're still monitoring mosques and other people that are being radicalized online, but I'm sure they're going to be firing that program back up again.
We talked about the drone threat yesterday. Trump said they know where they are. They know where they're keeping their eye on all these sleeper cells. Yeah. But for some reason, we're keeping an eye on them instead of.
Okay. The president has been speaking as well about the Iran war and the cost of gas and things like that. But right now, the United States, there was just a press conference. When did Pete Hegseth have that press conference?
This morning.
This morning. So we're trying to find some sound from that because he's responding to continuing to have the fight there, but then also what they're doing to protect the U.S. mainland against continued attacks from folks that want to kill as many people as possible. Oh, the other ones was the Mondani out in front of the governor's home. There was 2 protests going on. Remember this one? There was a group of folks that were like, we don't like Muslims, get them out of the country. Then there were these other people like, everybody is welcome here. And the one guy that had the bullhorn yelling, everyone's welcome here. We love everybody. We love everybody. A young man from Pennsylvania who had a homemade device, lit it on fire, and then threw it over the shoulder of the guy with the bullhorn. There's some rich irony for you. It lands there on the ground. It doesn't go off, thank God. The police then catch the two from Pennsylvania that were also there saying, listen, we're doing this because, we're all in on ISIS and we want to kill as many people as we possibly can. Okay.
I think we're...
In the meantime, while we're here on this earth, try to do good stuff.
I like that.
In the meantime.
By the way,
how's Seattle going to handle? I have all the numbers for John. John Scholes has been doing. He's the CEO of Downtown Seattle Association, and I'm going to ask him about the huge decline in commercial real estate taxes from the Columbia Tower, the 2 Union Square, the 5th Avenue Tower. That's where you really start to see some hemorrhaging happening. And what is Seattle supposed to do about all that? We'll find out. But first, here's Lori checking traffic. Lori.
All lanes of 99 at the First South Bridge have reopened. Reduced speed limit of 25 miles an hour. If you're heading from Alderwood to South Center, 405 is 43 minutes. I-5 just under, 39 minutes now. Tacoma to Olympia, though, that's an hour and a half. I-90 closed overnight, but they are saying it will reopen in the morning. It's closed between North Bend and Ellensburg. US 2 closed west of the summit at Coles Corner to 14 miles west of Leavenworth. And DOT says it's because of a bunch of illegally parked vehicles at the summit. They can't get their snowplows through. 18 has reopened between Issaquah, Hobart, and I-90, so that's good news. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
Two competing budget proposals. Senators want to be aggressive, they say.
Traffic.
We have a stall on westbound 16.
Conversation.
If they pass this thing and Governor Ferguson signs it into law, I think there's going to be a mass political sea change in Washington State.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They're bringing it home again.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolade spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
At Guardian Roofing Gutters and Installation, we stand by our quality gutters. Whether you need a cleaning or a complete gutter install, we do it all. Call today and get $250 off a gutter installation. And visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. Northwest News.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
You didn't work hard to watch your retirement unravel. You saved, you sacrificed, you built something meaningful for yourself and for your family. Hi, I'm elder law attorney Rajiv Nagaich. I've seen what happens when unexpected health events collide with traditional retirement plans. Savings that took decades to build drains away faster than anyone expected. At LifePoint Law, we help you build a life plan to help you protect your assets and way of life. If you are retired or thinking about retiring, now is the time to double-check your retirement plan.
Attending a free seminar now can help prevent your entire life savings from being devastated. Some simple planning will ensure you don't run out of money. Seats are filling up and your family's future is too important to delay. Sign up now for the next seminar in Bellevue on the 12th, Federal Way on the 14th, and Everett on March 17th. Learn more at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed Their electric bill is diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Your new home is ready now. D.R. Horton, America's builder, has new construction communities across Puget Sound and Central Washington, with more coming. Find your new home at drhorton.com. America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder. Staples has hot deals on everything for your business, like up to $125 off your print order. Ends 4/18, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Authorities offer an update on yesterday's synagogue attack in West Bloomfield, Michigan. The FBI's Jennifer Runyon says when Ayman Mohammed Ghazali crashed into the building,
a second security officer engages Ghazali in a gunfight from the front of the vehicle. And soon thereafter, Ghazali's vehicle, his engine compartment catches on fire. And at some point during the gunfight, Ghazali suffers a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head.
Runyon says inside the truck were large quantities of commercial-grade fireworks and several jugs of what they believe is gas. CBS's Allison Keyes.
Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer is clear about the climate amid the attack.
This is targeting babies who are Jewish. That's anti-Semitism at its absolute worst.
Democratic Michigan Senator Alyssa Slotkin says,
I feel just an immense amount of pain, as does the rest of the community.
She says the Jewish community suffers 10 times the number of hate crimes than others do. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Questions persist over how long the U.S. will continue the war with Iran.
Concerns are growing over U.S. casualties and rising oil prices, even as the U.S. military is sending some 2,500 Marines and at least one more warship to the Middle East. On the Brian Kilmeade Show, President Trump was asked about the war's impact on the economy. The president said, quote, "This is going to bounce back so fast." As for when he's going to know when the war is over, Trump responded, quote, when I feel it in my bones, unquote. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro blasts a federal judge for blocking a pair of Justice Department subpoenas issued to the Federal Reserve in January and says she will appeal. Fed Chair Jerome Powell said it involved an investigation into him. CBS's Sarah Lynch.
The judge determined that there was no proper basis, there was no predication that a crime may have taken place here, and there was no legal basis for them to even serve these subpoenas in the first place, that these were motivated by politics.
The weather was very nice in Greenwell Springs, Louisiana yesterday morning, but Mother Nature dealt a surprise to LH and Tricia Porcio when a tall tree on the couple's property.
It sounded like an explosion, and then debris started falling from the ceiling and through the ceiling.
They narrowly missed being injured. A Georgia prosecutor has dropped charges against the teens accused in a toilet paper prank that left a beloved high school teacher dead after he slipped and was struck by a car. The family of teacher Jason Hughes urged officials to drop all charges. This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth. 48 Hours, Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount.
An updated SeaTac Airport following a very busy morning. But first, let's get a look at that very busy commute with the at the real-time traffic desk, with Lori.
All lanes of 99 northbound at the First South Bridge reopened with a reduced speed limit of 25 miles an hour. Seattle to Everett now a 43-minute drive, and to Federal Way 32 minutes. We're looking at travel times under an hour. Bellevue to Everett just a half an hour. Bellevue to Federal Way 38 minutes, but still a pretty tough drive. Tacoma to Olympia at an hour and a half. I-90 closed overnight between North Bend and Ellensburg. US 2 closed overnight west of the Summit at Coles Corner to 14 miles west of Leavenworth. And looks like, and just a reminder, 18 has reopened between Issaquah, Hobart, and I-90. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. SeaTac Airport was under a ground stop for arriving flights off and on this morning. Airport spokesperson Perry Cooper says visibility has been a challenge, so has de-icing. Hundreds of flights have been delayed.
The big thing for passengers is really stay in touch with your airline to see whether or not your specific flight is going to be affected.
Within the hour, SEA posted on X that runways and taxiways are bare and wet. Crews continue clearing slush, however, from ramps and gates, and the 8th floor of the parking garage is closed. A Skycomish family is now speaking through their attorney after rape allegations against their daughter's PE teacher came to light. Daniel Bubar is accused of grooming the girl starting in the 7th grade. Investigators say he then repeatedly raped her. Michael Fowl now represents the family. He tells KIRO 7 TV they want answers.
He was 62 years old, so there's a chance that this perpetrator had been doing it for a long time.
Court documents say Bubar used his schoolwork email to communicate with his victim and that the abuse happened all over campus. Bubar has been charged, not convicted. He is scheduled to appear in court next week. Sound Transit is about to open what CEO Dow Constantine calls its most complex project ever. March 28th, riders will get a new 7.4-mile stretch of light rail across I-90. It runs from the Chinatown International District to South Bellevue and includes new stations at Mercer Island and Judkins Park. It is the world's first light rail on a floating bridge. The line was originally supposed to open in 2020, but construction delays pushed it back 6 years. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, it finishes a transit plan voters approved way back in 2008. Well, 405 is going to be closed in Bothell again this weekend. The freeway won't reopen until early Monday morning. WashDOT's Lauren Penning says drivers should expect long delays.
We're still anticipating delays of up to an hour at really those peak times. We saw this past weekend backups extend about 2 miles at the peak, and that's probably what we'll see again.
WashDOT is removing the old ramps at the interchange. A new bridge is being built in its place. And now a weather update. Rain showers in through the evening. Depending on your location, this could still stick around as a rain-snow mix this afternoon. Overnight temps back near freezing, so we may see some Saturday morning showers of snow. 36 and light drizzle right now over downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line.
Yes.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show.
Let's write this down.
Thank you.
Let's write this down.
Hello, it's Brad in Bremerton here.
Okay.
To the whole team over there at the John Curley Show, I would like to thank you.
Oh.
I'm thoroughly enjoying your radio program.
Thank you, Brad.
I appreciate the adult-themed, sex-positive, subliminal messages that run throughout your show. Bone on bone and bumper to bumper. It's really getting me riled up. So thank you, and keep up the good work. Wow.
They're on to you. They found us out. Brad, calm down. However we stimulate you. Head or heart? John Scholes. Man, this guy is making the rounds, huh? You are everywhere. A morning show, and he's talking to you all the time. Yeah, it's quite the lead-in on you.
Quite the lead-in from Brad.
It is. All right, relax. Yeah, don't worry about Brad. He's out there in Bremerton.
We were talking about taxes.
All right, John. Are you the guy out here? Hey, everybody, things are good. Don't worry, things are turning around. That's you've been reading that from that hymnal for a while now. The mayor, Katie Wilson, comes in there on Wednesday. Prior to her speaking, tell me where you were on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being like, hey, it's 2017 again, and we got all this tax base and we got all this growth. Did you think you were going to hear what you heard from Katie Wilson after she finished her prepared remarks? And were you happy?
I was impressed with a lot of what she had to say, and I've been spending some time with her and her team over the last many weeks and months. I co-chaired a committee on her broader transition committee.
Yeah.
And I appreciated a lot of what she had to say. I appreciated that she noted that, being an outlier when it comes to your tax structure and having significantly higher employer taxes in your city versus the surrounding area can lead to job growth or job loss, which is what we're seeing. She talked about making cuts to the budget and spending more wisely so that we can deliver results. So I was impressed with a lot of what I've heard, and I've been impressed with some of the decisions she's made, some of the folks she's hired, and I've appreciated the way in which she's engaged our organization and other folks in the business community in her short time in office.
Yeah, she brought you in early, so you were probably hearing from a lot of skeptics, hey, John, what do you know? We're terrified. We're going to move out. The city's in a rapid decline. Were you telling them to kind of hang on a little bit there?
You know, I'm an optimist by nature, and I try to figure out ways in which we can find common ground and work with folks. And I told Mayor Wilson before she was elected, I sat down with her for an hour. I said, and I've worked with, I think, now 6 administrations in the time I've been here, that I don't know how a mayor can be successful if a downtown isn't seen as successful. So our interests are in a lot of ways intertwined. And I'm here to help be a partner and help her succeed on a number of the things that she says she wants to do and is committed to. Moving more people off the street, making Seattle more affordable, making it easier to open a small business. Those are things I subscribe to, our organization subscribes to. My message is, let's get after it.
Yeah, a lot of friends of mine were like, she's dumb. I said, no. I think she is.
She is not dumb.
She is not dumb. She is smart. I think she was a little naive. And as I said to her when she was on the show, she was kind enough to come on a couple of times. And I said, this is like a reality television show. Katie Wilson wakes up one day and she finds herself the mayor of a giant city. And she sort of laughed because she realizes that is the reality. I think, and I tell people that have businesses and that are quite well off and work very hard for the money that they get. I said, listen, again, she's naive, but she's not dumb. What you can hope for, always, as you say, John, I try to be optimistic as well. As Winston Churchill says, you really have no other choice other than be an optimist, right? That hopefully she learns quickly on the job and she has her ears open to all sides, not just the activist side, the progressive side that has sort of a oppressor, Marxian view of the world. I was really taken aback by the things that she said in that meeting on Wednesday. She talked about telling everybody there back in the city, take a good hard look at your budget. You might have to cut anywhere between 5 and 10%. I think that's smart. And then she said, and we need to create an environment that businesses feel safe and supported to start a business, to keep a business, and to make sure that their employees are safe coming in and out of the office buildings. But you look at the numbers, it's pretty scary for the city of Seattle. If you look at where the revenues have been falling rapidly, I looked at just because a big chunk of the money comes from commercial real estate taxes. So you have the Columbia Center, they lost $250 million. The 2 Union Squares lost $190 million. Fifth Avenue Towers lost $150 million. The Seattle Municipal Tower has lost us to $150 million. You add it all up, it's almost $1 billion of tax revenue that is no longer available for the city of Seattle. So they really have to change their general philosophy of, we're going to take care of all these organizations and screw business. So when you have her ear, what do you tell her, John? What advice do you give her?
One, that we have a lot of interest in common and share similar goals of a safer city, a city with fewer folks living on the street, a city where it's easier to open a business, that has a strong tax base. And you're right about the collapse of commercial office values in downtown Seattle. The 10 buildings that are most valuable today have lost half of their value since 2022. And that means there's a huge property tax burden that is shifted to residents in the city, as well as small businesses who pay a portion of the property tax through their triple net leases. And so that's something that I don't think is quite fully appreciated in this city. And we have a lot of folks sort of ringing the alarm bell over affordability. Well, these, progressive, in quotes, employer taxes that are pushing jobs outside of our city, that are driving down commercial values, are shifting a property tax burden to renters and residents of single-family homes and small businesses. In my mind, there is nothing progressive about that. And what I believe is we don't need more taxes, business taxes in our city. We need more businesses in Seattle paying taxes. That's how we get out of this. That's how we grow a tax base. That's how we have the revenues necessary to achieve much of what myself and I think you and many in our city and the mayor want to achieve.
If you just look at 2017, I looked at the number of cranes that were throughout the skyline. There was a story in the Wall Street Journal that nobody can get a crane because they're all in Seattle. There were 62 of them. 62 dotting the skyline. Because when a business and a corporation comes in, they're making investments 5, 10, 15, 20 years out. If they're going to build something, they have to know that things are safe for them as they move forward. Right now, 2025, the last one I got, 17 cranes, a decline from 70 to 80% decline in major infrastructure building in the commercial world. They're telling you, right? These are the siren calls from the rocks telling you that things are bad and things need to turn around. I would suggest, as well as I'm sure you've talked about this, first of all, a city has to be safe. Number one, you have to have police officers that enforce laws so that people don't go around hitting people over the head. And then you'll have shoppers come back, and then you'll have people spending money. Then you get your tax base, then you get the building, and you get the employees back. You have to have all it, but it has to start with a sense of that laws are enforced. And I'm going to catch you off guard on this question, and you can dodge it if you'd like.
You're going to try.
Go ahead. I was shocked, unfortunately, when I saw Chief Barnes talking the other day about the fact that they're going to have Seattle police document the names of the ICE officers that are here doing the work of the federal government. I thought that, man, if that doesn't send a terrifying rip through the police that are already there, telling them, oh, even though you're understaffed and you're trying to control the crime and everything else, at the same time, go ahead and document, get the names of these guys, videotape these guys, and report it back to us. And if you don't, then you're in trouble. When you saw that, what was your reaction, John?
Well, I think this whole thing is a mess. The local law enforcement has been put in a terrible position by some of the actions of ICE and Border Patrol in our cities. And, my hope and my wish is that local law enforcement can focus on local law enforcement, because we sure need them to be doing the things to keep our city safe. And I commend Chief Barnes for, his progress here over his last year. We had 165 officers hired last year in the city of Seattle, a record. We are on a great pace. I saw him yesterday. We have another 50 that have been hired this year. And I hope those folks can come in and focus on the things we need them to do here in the city, which is responding to 911 calls, addressing drug activity in places like 3rd and Pine and the Chinatown International District, and doing the things that I think those officers signed up to do, which is protecting and serving the city of Seattle. I think it's been a mess that local law enforcement, not just here, but around the country, have been put in a really difficult spot by some of the activities and actions of some of the national agencies.
You do a really good job, John, of representing all the people that you want, which is the wealth creators. But at the same time, they don't paint you as a heartless individual that doesn't care about all the other problems that go with big cities. So it's nice that you sort of have one foot in one and one in the other. Do you notice there are people that are with her in her administration that see you as the Antichrist?
I haven't heard that. I've had, great meetings and conversations and been welcomed in. I was at City Hall yesterday, meeting with a deputy mayor, somebody I've known for 20 years. I commend her on the hire of Deputy Mayor Brian Surratt, somebody who knows City Hall. He knows the business community. He's worked in both places. So I think if they saw me as the Antichrist, somebody would have kept me out of that transition committee meeting, or, sabotaged my vehicle or something on my way out. But I've had good, productive conversations with the administration thus far.
Okay, so how do you rebuild the city of Seattle, John?
Well, I think you're absolutely right that cities and downtowns have never worked if they weren't safe. We've got to get that right. It's better than what it was 3-4 years ago. We've made progress in having, less crime in the downtown core, less people in need, fewer tents, but it's not good enough. We should not declare victory. We still have way too much substance use disorder and drug dealing and sales on our streets. We have too much crime still in places like the ID in Capitol Hill and Belltown, even as we drive down crime in the commercial core. So we have to get that right. And we have to recognize that companies and investors and individuals have choices, and that we're in a competitive landscape. They've got more choices than they've ever had. They have more information than they've ever had on those other options, and they can make those decisions very quickly. There were 1.6 million people that lived in the city of Detroit in 1960. There's about 600,000 today. So cities can change and evolve. There's great reasons to choose Seattle, great reasons to invest here, but People have choices, other places in the region, other places around the country and around the world. So we have to have that mindset. And you mentioned sort of the lack of predictability that we've had here. If you're a business owner, if you're an employer, if you're an investor, it seems like every other day you're picking up a headline about a new tax that somebody in the state wants to levy, or a tax that was recently levied that they want to increase. And people are making 5 and 10 and 15-year decisions on the placement of capital and business growth. And unpredictability is poison. And I think that, as much as of anything around, whether it's the millionaire's tax or the new sales taxes that were adopted last year in Olympia, or the new B&O in the city, or a payroll tax, that, in addition to the actual real effects of those taxes and the dollars and cents, the unpredictability, but also the message that, it's an oppositional message. We heard a state senator a year ago, label companies and corporations and employers villains. And are there some companies and corporations that haven't been great actors? Absolutely, like there are in every category of individual and group. But that kind of language and that kind of approach, I think, is dangerous to our ability to continue to achieve prosperity and attract investment and job growth in our city. We got to be able to work together, sit across the table from one another. We don't have to agree on everything, but we got to respect each other. And I think there's a lot more we share in common than not. And I think we're seeing that with this mayor, who has proved herself to be pragmatic and practical. She's smart, she's sincere, I find her curious, and she's listened to a lot of business leaders, and I appreciate that.
John, that's exactly the impression I got from her as well. I did ask her, and she thought it was a trick question. When I said to her, you keep talking about corporations need to pay their fair share, they need to pay their fair share, and I asked her, corporations don't pay. Somebody has to take a pen in their hand that's a human being that has a pulse, and they have to write the check. And I gave her the 3, because as you know, it's either the employee, it is the customer, or it is the shareholder. And she's, shareholder. I said, okay, the shareholder's a 40-year-old woman with 1 kid. She's a teacher, and the money that she makes in her pension goes to the Vanguard, and the Vanguard Group invests in various businesses. Of all their holdings, they have 10% of the holdings of Starbucks. So if you bash Starbucks and the money goes down, you take the money from them, you're taking it from the 41-year-old woman who I just described with 1 child. She doesn't have as much in her pension. Now, who do you want to pay? The customer, the employee, or the shareholder? And I stumped her on it, but just for a moment there, I gave her a little bit of 101 on economics, and she wasn't angry about it. She kind of took it in, and maybe, hopefully, that, she sort of starts to see some of this stuff. Here's the question.
Yeah, there's a lot of
there's
a lot of nuance. I mean, there's a lot of nuance, right, in how our economy works. I mean, you look at all these tall buildings downtown, and many of them went up with pension funds from labor unions.
Yes.
Right? I mean, people think that there's the evil developer walking around with $500 million in their briefcase is what is building these buildings. There's not a lot of individuals walking around with $500 million that are putting up buildings. They're doing it through retirement funds and pension funds and capital from other places outside of this country that is looking for some kind of return.
Yes.
And if they can't get here, they'll go to Phoenix or Austin or somewhere else.
37% of the people that are on the waiting list to get to play golf in Scottsdale, Arizona, are from Washington.
It's a fascinating stat. I don't know how you got it or where you got it.
I got that from a guy named Roger. I won't say more. He said to me, he said 37% on the waiting list for the golf club here in Scottsdale are Washington residents. Then he writes, do you think the average Joe is now waking up to the fact that they'll be hit with taxes eventually? This income tax that they're going to try to get through the Washington Supreme Court, I think that will be, unfortunately, another nail in the coffin that's being built by progressives in the city of Seattle. And your reaction to the passing of that bill and now signed by the governor, what did you think about that, John?
I think it's more of the same. I mean, I think we've seen, kind of a one-trick, one-tune, operation here of, success is measured by whether or not we're spending more than we spent last year. And we are at the state level, at the city level. And I don't think that's the right measure of success. The state's general fund budget is more than doubled in the last decade. The city of Seattle's general fund budget is 80% greater than it was a decade ago. I don't know if anybody would say things are 80% better in the city of Seattle when it comes to homelessness or a host of other issues. So I think we need to move away from judging our success by how much we spent this year versus last year. judge our success by a different set of metrics. Are we building more housing? Do we have fewer folks off the street? Are response times to priority 911 calls less than they were? Do we have fewer folks suffering from behavioral health? Do we have fewer overdoses? Those are the things I think the public cares about. And those are the results they deserve given the level of investment they're making in local and state government right now.
When a company makes the decision to invest in Seattle, what are the three things that they look for, and what word would you tell them? Do you want them to wait a couple of years? What numbers and what factors do they look at to say, yes, I'm going into Seattle?
I think they love what we love. We've got a great quality of life, and they know that attracts a terrific workforce. And we've got one of the smartest and most educated workforces in the country that wants to be here and live here and find success here. And there are great reasons to continue to invest. I'm not telling anybody not to invest in our city, obviously, but I do think our elected leaders need to take stock of how competitive this country and this world is right now, and the number of choices that folks have, whether they're coming to spend a weekend, coming to open a small business, or looking to invest capital for a new building. They have other options. There's great reasons to choose Seattle, and we want them to continue to make those choices.
There is. Final words. Well said there. CEO of Downtown Seattle Association, John Scholes, thank you very much. I'm sure you have another interview to do today.
You were the last one, John.
All right.
Save the
last for best. I knew you were going to say that.
The best for last.
There you go. Have a great weekend. Thanks a lot, John. Appreciate it. All right. Checking traffic with Lori. Lori.
Traffic is brought to you by the Seattle RV Show. Eastbound 518 at 51st, a collision just cleared the roadway. Pretty hefty backup approaching the scene. Northbound 509 at I-705. Look out for an accident in the right lane. Closures overnight, I-90, US 2, and 410. But good news, all lanes of northbound 99 at the First South Bridge have reopened. Don't miss the Seattle RV Show going on now through the 15th at Lumen Field Event Center. Shop over 400 new models for every budget and lifestyle. Get tickets at theseattlervshow.com. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
You know what Closets by Design is going to do for you? It's going to free you of a mess that's in that house. It's also going to probably stop you from possibly thinking about getting yourself one of those storage units, which cost you money every single month. Because when Closets by Design comes in, you'll be amazed at how much space you actually have in that house. It just needs to be organized. And that's the experts at Closets by Design. They've been doing this for 22 years. They're family run. They've been around for 22 years. When they came out to the barn and they showed us all the different spaces that could be utilized with closets and storage, we were like, really? Oh, you should see what they did in the garage. Amazing. Plus, they built cabinets for us that matched the woodwork in the laundry room. And then they said, look at all this extra space that's lost upstairs when it comes to some of these closets. We now have actually more space than we thought we had. And we love the fact when they design, they truly customize it. Closets by Design will give you 40% off. Big savings, 15% off, and 18 months financing and free installation. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's closetsbydesign.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
See country star Aaron Lewis and the Stateliners at Muckleshoot Casino Resort, March 24th at 8 p.m. And now an added show on March 25th. He's a multi-platinum artist whose raw lyrics and powerhouse vocals have captivated fans for decades. Now he and his band, the Stateliners, are coming to Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Get your tickets now to see Aaron Lewis at muckleshootcasino.com.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical,
there's no beating CM Heating.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
Progressive Insurance knows pets, and one of the biggest differences between people and pets is that we don't eat things off the floor. But dogs definitely will, and it makes them so happy, no matter what it looks like, smells like, or what state of decomposition it's in. We all want to go through life that carefree, and that's also why you should get Progressive Pet Insurance, because they eat things off the floor. So protect your pet from all the questionable life decisions they make. You know where they drink from when you're gone, right? Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. It's been a busy and dangerous day for WashDOT. The DOT's Lauren Padgett spoke with KIRO 7.
On US 2 east of Skycomish, we did have a brief blocking incident. And in that case, one of our snowplows was struck by a falling tree.
No one was hurt, luckily, and the driver will be back on the job tonight. With temperatures dipping to freezing again overnight in many places, Pierce Transit will offer people free rides to warming centers and shelters through Sunday night. There are shelter locations in cities across Pierce County, including Tacoma, Lakewood, Puyallup, Parkland, and Gig Harbor. Saturday morning could see a repeat of Friday morning's snow. Here's meteorologist Ted Beener.
And that snow level, again, is going to be right around the 500-foot mark. So those higher elevations may again see a little bit of snow accumulation on Saturday morning. Lower elevations should probably be in pretty good shape.
That accumulation should be a 1/4 inch to an inch. A warming trend kicks in next week with highs near 60. A leadership shakeup at Seattle City Light again. KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery explains.
When Mayor Katie Wilson took office, she announced she was replacing Dawn Lindell, who had served in the post for 2 years, though she didn't say why. Mayor Wilson originally selected Dennis McLaren as her replacement, an environmental attorney with lots of government experience, but no roles with an actual utility. What followed was pushback from utility staff, union leaders, and even the city council. Now Mayor Wilson says McLaren will serve as deputy general manager, and the next CEO will be Rob Santoff, who has been with City Light since 2020. Santoff himself will be an interim pick until a permanent selection is made next year. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
And as we approach 4:33, let's send it over to the real-time traffic desk and check in with Lori.
Traffic is brought to you by Wilcox Farms. Seattle to Linwood, right now we're looking at a 30-minute drive. Bellevue to Bothell is 10 minutes. Now 518 eastbound of 51st, a collision cleared, but it's still a backup approaching the scene. I-15, 509 northbound at I-705. We had an accident partly blocking the ramp. 167 southbound slows into Kent from Pacific to Puyallup, southbound I-5 at 56. Looks like we have an accident there in the left lane. Tacoma to Olympia is now only an hour and a half. All lanes of 99 at the First South Bridge are reopened with a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. 18 has reopened between Issaquah, Hobart, and I-90. Closed I-90, US 2 and 410. For a convenient, healthy snack on the go, look for ready-to-eat Wilcox hard-boiled eggs. Find Wilcox eggs at Costco, Metro Market, and Safeway, as well as other local grocers. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Thank you, Lori. A rain-snow mix continues across the region this afternoon. Precipitation will diminish later this evening. Freezing temps overnight means slick roads, and by tomorrow afternoon, we'll see some sun, 46 for the high. A rain-snow mix and 37 degrees in downtown. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
It starts on your street, in your home, with a problem you're struggling to solve. That's where KIRO 7 Investigates comes in. They show up, they ask hard questions, they get you answers. When your story is seen, change isn't just possible, it's already happening. Watch KIRO 7 News weeknights, 5 to 6:30 p.m. and on KIRO7.com/investigates.
Thank you, Joe. Well said, well read. When it comes to fixing that car of yours, that's got to be Buc-ee's. We've said it before. We can't make it any clearer. You can just fill the car with rats and push it off a cliff, or just take it to Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's Auto Service Centers. 50 locations. No, they've been around for 50 years. 16 locations. Get that right. Sorry. Why I played crappy music. No, you're not going to get me to play the guitar. We'll save it for another day.
You know you want to play that guitar.
That's a minor key. That's the E minor. No, we're going to hold back. We're going to keep it around for another time. Thank you, Lori, for trying to get us to do that. A guy by the name of Brian House. He's got a long beard, muck boots, leads this writer through the pine forest, a cold afternoon, the edges of a marsh. He finds an array of 3 circles and plastic milk crates equipped with furry microphones and covers. And he's been able to prove what the poet Emily Dickinson said so many years ago: there is no silence in the earth. People have known this since the 19th century, that mammals communicate. Rats, bats, crickets, all sorts of insects are constantly talking to one another. And this guy, with about $2,000, set up all these microphones in the woods, and he's now created an album. The author of the piece then went home and played the album, and he says, as soon as I put it on, cats ran out of the room. About that.
Wow. See, you haven't even gotten to the part of the telepathy tapes when they talk about animals communicating.
God, gee whiz, Joe. So our ears can only hear certain frequencies. Then at a certain point, we can't hear other stuff, but there's all this additional noise going on. This is often, the whales communicate with one another, but sometimes you can hear some of that. So this guy has decided that he's going to record all these sounds. He's using AI to help do it, put it all together with $2,000. Brian House's album is out. Different names for different stuff. What is a storm front?
So the storm front has
this warning to cats in the room.
It has a sound that it makes that we can't hear audibly, but it is it's kind of interesting.
Storm front. Okay. Now our ears wouldn't pick it up, but his microphones pick it up.
Correct.
Okay. I see. Is it going to get better? Is this pretty much it right now?
No, it's pretty.
Okay, that's okay. A glacier? You ever want to talk to a glacier? Ominous.
I think I'm going to move over there very slowly.
Glacier. How about when spiders communicating about, like, hey, let's make a web over here, or let's drop down and scare the hell out of somebody. It's a spider spider and all-you-can-eat buffet. Bats communicating? Sure, they talk. Now, I've heard other sounds of bats, but these are the sounds that we can hear that he's been.
Correct.
Okay. Does he have any idea what they're saying?
No.
Okay.
You're saying go to Buc-ee's.
Okay, Bucky. No, here are the rats. These are the rats saying, don't let them put you in the car. Because they're going to push it off a cliff. This is one rat telling another rat. Wow. Ugh. Makes me dislike them even more.
Oh.
What, you like rats?
No, we honor all living things, John.
Wow.
That's pretty wild.
The song made by an inaudible sounds from nature. These are the trees talking to each other?
He just made a whole album of them.
He's got the whole band together?
Yes.
This is like We Are the World? Bob Dylan coming in. We are the world. What's that? Is that a glacier?
Don't know.
Landing on a rat? That is wild stuff.
This is just the build-up, apparently. Baseline.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Goes on for another 8 minutes. Thank you, Joe.
I'm about to fall asleep at the board.
I know. Look at that, huh? We need a couple rats to cheer you up. Hold on. Here's some rats talking about, hey, you want to go over and eat something? That's the sound the rat made just before Twiggy killed it and then dragged it into the house.
No.
And then left it at Nick's feet yesterday.
Ooh.
And she's like, oh, that dog. Hey, you were the one that wanted that dog.
You love
She's mad because Twiggy chose me. I looked her up online as to the breed, and then apparently they choose one, and they really bond to that one. Most dogs do anyway. And I'm the one that's hardly ever there. But when I get home, the dog's like, yeah! And then the rest of the time, she yells at it, and Twiggy talks back to her.
This is a two-way street, too. You call Nicole all the time. Hey, can I get a video of Twiggy? Can you send me hey, there's snow on that. There's snow outside, right? Can you send me a Twiggy video?
Last night, it was like 7:30. I finished dinner. I was like, I really want to go home. I mean, of course, when I see Nick, but I really want to see the dogs. I'm just like, I want to see you and the dogs. So there, I guess we just now know that they're all communicating. Why, whatever they have to say to one another, we'll probably never know on that one. Although the research has been done on whales, they're pretty sure of how they send out the sonic connections with one another, and then a whale in distress. But now we know that these are thinking animals. Even from spiders, bats, rats, all of nature is talking. Yeah.
And now you know the rest of the story.
Thank you, Paul Harvey. Good day. All right. Hey, by the way, I appreciate John coming on and talking about downtown Seattle. The numbers are not good. And I saw somebody, that same guy we talked about yesterday that's running for some office, who's priding looking at the latest numbers when it came to that head tax and how great it is. The unfortunate thing is the numbers are down. The numbers are down on the capital gains. The numbers are down on the head tax. The numbers are down on all this sort of stuff. So before the folks in Olympia and in Seattle and in other cities start to think, oh, we got all this money coming in, let's all spend it on all these organizations and give it to this group and that group and this group and that group, they should notice that it's not consistent. So, unfortunately for the city of Seattle and for the state of Washington, all of the little indicators as to the health of the state of Washington are pointing towards the red. Not there yet, but if we were all spiders, we'd say, let's get out of here. All right. All right, now here comes Lori checking traffic in English. Lori?
State Route 20 at Gibraltar Road. Look out for a collision. That one's blocking all of the lanes. That's a little bit east and north of the Deception Bass Bridge. State Route 530, a collision. It's a fatality. It's at 30th, blocking all lanes. Police say avoid that area. They don't know when it will reopen. Seattle to Linwood, now just a 30-minute drive. Tacoma to Olympia, we're still looking at an hour and a half. The 99 South First Bridge northbound has reopened with a lowered speed limit of 25 miles an hour. 18 is open, and I-90, US 2, and 410 are closed. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-777-1225.
Remember that time we were driving through France and for some reason we didn't have GPS?
Oh, for some reason? That reason would be that you didn't plug your phone in because you didn't have a charger.
Yeah, because I let you borrow my phone so you could call your mother, and you're on the phone for like 30 minutes telling her where we are. But that aside, we didn't know we were going. We did fight a little bit because we didn't know where we were going. I think that Longevity Medical Clinic is like the GPS for us. They tell us which turns to make. They tell us which directions to go, right?
They do. And now I feel like the two of us together have a clear path and we have more control over our own health care.
Right, exactly. So you don't have to get out of the car and try to find information somewhere. It's all right there. As you're aging, all the little sort of turns you have to make in order to be able to have lots of energy and to enjoy your life. So for as far as I'm concerned, Longevity Medical Clinic is our GPS. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
With Aetna, I always get a quick answer, and I don't have to search on the internet. They go above and beyond to help me with whatever I need.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctors' offices when requested. We show up with access to convenient care options. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
As Subaru of Puyallup, enjoy a truly stress-free shopping and buying experience. Friendly experts, transparent pricing, and genuine care. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event through March 31st, enjoy extra savings. Visit your stress-free dealership today. SubaruofPuyallup.com.
Hey, this is Pete from Home Matters, a show that covers everything having to do with your home. Tune in every Saturday from 2 to 3 on KIRO Newsradio, where you'll hear from local business owners who are experts in their industries. From foundation to flooring, roofing and windows, furniture, and financial planning, it's everything in and around your home, and we've got you covered on Home Matters. If it matters to you, it matters to us here at Home Matters. Saturdays from 2 to 3 right here on KIRO Newsradio, or listen to the podcast on mynorthwest.com.
It'll be another tough weekend for those people that are traveling. I was looking at lines in Austin, Texas. Some airports and some airlines are telling people to arrive 3 to 4 hours early. Here's what happened. TSA agents haven't been paid in about a month. The reason being is because Congress hasn't been able to agree on the funding for DHS. And because of that, a lot of TSA guys I'm not going to get it paid. I'm not going to go to work. So we would normally have 5 on hand. You have 1 or 2, and then the lines are just that much longer. Until they can get through that bottleneck, you're not going to see any relief in place. And that's also gets tied into the president refusing to sign stuff. He wants to get the SAFE Act passed, which is Americans, and the majority of them, 70% or more, agree that you should have ID with your picture on it, your name on it, in order to vote. So all of that is kind of being held up. And in the meantime, the folks in Congress know if you really want to disrupt people's lives, somebody wants to fly from point A to point B, and they arrive at the airport 3 or 4 hours early, and they're in the parking lot waiting for TSA, nothing outrages them more than that. So they're using the pain of the citizens in order to get stuff done that they would like to get done. I'm just glad I don't have to fly today.
He's also wrapped up a bunch of stuff into the SAVE Act that's not just about having a passport to vote, and he also ends to end mail-in voting completely. Basically, saying that it's fraudulent and there's mountains of evidence, despite there not being, that no other country has mail-in voting, even though there are 30 or 40 that do.
There's a big wall that's insurmountable between the federal government and the states. The states run elections. Right. That's it. You can come in there. The federal government can come in and say, well, you're not doing it fair. You're trying to block somebody. Go back to, poll taxes and other stuff before the 1967 Civil Rights Act. And the president is trying to mount that wall, have the federal government come in and start to determine how all voting is done. I think most people are okay if he just were to get rid of those other things and just say you got to have an ID with a picture on it. Same ID that you use to get on a plane, cash a check, do anything else. Yep. Why not the same thing when it comes to voting?
Or if in Washington you hit proof of citizenship to register to vote, boom.
Right. But when you come to a Department of Licensing to get a driver's license, they don't ask you. And then they ask, would you like to also, or they just automatically sign you up to vote. That's a little shady. So that's the kind of stuff that should be stopped.
Right.
But I think most people are okay with you need an ID. That seems to make sense. Don't hook all those other sort of things to it and then just get that to go past and you'd be better off. Agreed. But right now it's a standoff and we're all the ones that are victims being held hostage by the stuff that's happening in Congress. They do this all the time and they directly, shutdowns and slowdowns. They know, okay, how can we really screw stuff up? Let's make things really hard for people that are trying to travel. There's nothing upsets you more than getting there, missing a flight, or having to get to the airport 3 hours early. And the poor TSA people, they don't have the other stuff. It's like I always say, when you get there and you get in line, first thing you do, take your belt off, take your shoes off, or you don't take your shoes off anymore. Take your belt off, take your watch off, take all that stuff off, all of it. Get it all, stick it in your bag. So when you step up to get your little basket there, you're already ready to go.
It's Pro Flyer mode. You got your laptop out. It's got its own little bin. You got your bin for your jacket.
Get your hat off. You're ready to go.
Let's go.
Step on up. The people like get up there to the little conveyor belt thing. Like, okay, well, I better take this belt off and get all this stuff out of my pocket.
The fun game is when you get to the point where they check your boarding pass before you get into the security, and you decide to pick which line you're going to get.
Oh, yeah, what line?
And you're judging everybody in that line, trying to determine, it's not right, but if they got kids, I'm not getting behind them.
No.
There's just all sorts of criteria in which you judge.
I see the people that are COVID cautious that still have masks on. Not going to be on those people. You can tell the seasoned flyers. They're the ones they're stripping down.
Let's go.
Step right on in there, and then you hold your hands in that position.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder for me now because, I like that one because I do the double bird at the top.
Oh. Okay. Well, that's not.
The new one down here like that. I always talk to those TSA people coming through. A lot of folks listen to the show.
Why are you giving the double bird?
The federal government giving me a little blast of cancer.
Okay, that's fair.
Not proven. I just assume it's not good for you. All right, here comes Lori checking traffic. Lori.
167 southbound, right at 516. We have an accident in the two right lanes, southbound 5 and 56. An accident in the left lane. A bigger slowdown, though, in the northbound direction. Traffic is brought to you by Seattle Sports. Just download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
Two competing budget proposals. Senators want to be aggressive, they say.
Traffic.
We have a stall on westbound 16.
Conversation.
If they pass this thing and Governor Ferguson signs it into law, I think there's going to be a mass political sea change in Washington State.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They're bringing it home again.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
You didn't work hard to watch your retirement unravel. You saved, you sacrificed, you built something meaningful for yourself and for your family. Hi, I'm elder law attorney Rajiv Nagaich. I've seen what happens when unexpected health events collide with traditional retirement plans. Savings that took decades to build drains away faster than anyone expected. At LifePoint Law, we help you build a life plan to help you protect your assets and way of life. If you are retired or thinking about retiring, now is the time to double-check your retirement plan.
Attending a free seminar now can help prevent your entire life savings from being devastated. Some simple planning will ensure you don't run out of money. Seats are filling up and your family's future is too important to delay. Sign up now for the next seminar in Bellevue on the 12th, Federal Way on the 14th, and Everett on March 17th. Learn more at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
Two competing budget proposals. Senators want to be aggressive, they say.
Traffic.
We have a stall on westbound 16.
Conversation.
If they pass this thing and Governor Ferguson signs it into law, I think there's going to be a mass political sea change in Washington State.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They're bringing it home again.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising! After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
March is an extremely exciting time to be in the garden and to visit Sky Nursery, especially if you'd love to be growing some of your own delicious fruit or berries. Hi, I'm Gabby, veggie herb and strawberry buyer here at Sky. This month only, I'm excited to bring in a wide variety of Northwest-grown bare root strawberry bundles. It's a great way to save a lot of money on planting your very own berry patch. We also just got in a large order of blueberries, raspberries, kiwi, honey, and elderberry, all grown to thrive in Northwest gardens. And of course, March is a perfect time to plant fruit trees like persimmon, fig, plum, apple, and cherry. So come on into Sky. We're open 7 days a week, 9 to 6, to help you pick the right fruit for your garden, whether it's a few pots on your balcony or your entire yard. After spending 4 years in my own garden, I can say from personal experience, there's really nothing like the taste of your very first fruit or berry that you grew yourself. Visit skynursery.com for care advice and discover what's new. We hope to see you here at Sky Nursery, the gardener's garden store.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Gray whales are back in the Salish Sea. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds. Don't miss Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
Jennifer Kuiper, the man who drove his truck into a West Bloomfield Township, Michigan synagogue yesterday, causing a fire, was Ayman Mohammed Ghazali of Dearborn Heights, Michigan. According to the FBI's Jennifer Runyon, Ghazali struck a security guard with his vehicle and during a fight with another security guard died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
In the bed of the truck, we found large quantities of commercial-grade fireworks and several jugs of flammable liquid we believe to be gasoline.
CBS's Usher Qureshi.
Federal officials have identified the suspect as Ayman Mohammed Ghazali. He was born in Lebanon in 1985 and then became a citizen later on. The Department of Homeland Security says he entered the United States legally in 2011 on a spousal immigrant visa and became a naturalized citizen in 2016.
Kenya Mitchell Chapman of Smithfield, Virginia, is facing federal charges of selling a stolen firearm to the gunman who used it in yesterday's deadly shooting at Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia. Authorities say Mohammed Baylor Jallo, who in 2016 pleaded guilty to attempting to provide material support to ISIS, killed an ROTC instructor yesterday and injured 2 others. CBS's Matt Gutman reports conditions in Iran are dire, causing that country to respond by blocking the Strait of Hormuz, playing a role in global energy hikes.
Their backs are up against the wall. Their nuclear installations are in shambles. Their missile stockpiles are very low. But that's why they are going for broke right now. That's why they are trying to maximize the pain inflicted on the U.S., on Israel, but particularly the Gulf states and the rest of the world economy by squeezing the Strait of Hormuz, by blocking it off and prohibiting any ships from passing through.
A federal judge revokes 2 grand jury subpoenas sent to the Federal Reserve Board as part of a criminal probe by U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro's office. Pirro says she will appeal. CBS's Scott McFarland.
The judge says this is not how the U.S. criminal justice system is to be used, to try to leverage the Federal Reserve Board chair. What's happening here is the judge is saying there's not even a sustainable or sufficient amount of evidence or indication of criminal misconduct to even let this go to a subpoena.
Some lawmakers are demanding answers from the IRS over its phase-out of checks.
2 Democrats have written to the Treasury Secretary accusing the president of causing undue hardship on more than 830,000 taxpayers by delaying their paper refunds for months. The National Taxpayer Advocate warned Congress that those without bank accounts, who are mostly Black and Latino, those with disabilities, or those who are low income, and certain religious communities are the people who are reliant on paper checks. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Morning.
This is a slam dunk.
So cute. Gail came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings.
We'll hear from a passenger who's been stuck at the airport since this morning. But first, let's check out the real-time traffic with Lori at the traffic desk.
Traffic is brought to you by Closets by Design. South 5 at 56, an accident in the left lane. A bigger slowdown, though, in the northbound direction. Very heavy traffic. 512 to State Route 101. Your drive Tacoma to Olympia now down to 85 minutes, an hour 25 minutes. Northbound 99 reopened. US 2 closed. I-90 closed. 410 closed. We do have an accident on Gibraltar Road, Highway 20 in Anacortes, blocking all lanes. And State Route 530. It's right before Darrington at 30th, the collision blocking all lanes. They say to avoid that at all costs. Brought to you by Closets by Design, custom storage solutions for closets, garages, homes, offices, and more. Go to closetbydesigns.com to see the current specials or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to learn more. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening. I'm Nate Connors. Passengers have been tested all day at SeaTac Airport, where weather-related delays have been steady. No one knows that better than Bob Klein, who is still stranded on his plane after 8 hours and recently spoke with KIRO 7 TV.
Well, we're doing the best we can. The captain comes on every half hour and says they're doing what they can, but supposed to leave at 8:55 a.m., and it's been, as you said, practically 8 hours. No, it's very frustrating, and we can't go anywhere until we're de-iced.
According to SEA, de-icing is the responsibility of the airline and not the airport. This is a reminder why it is important to check your flight status well before you head to the airport. We've seen a lot of snow today, especially in the mountains, but KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports it's not enough to reverse our region's drought.
When you look up at the Cascades and Olympics, ideally the peaks should be covered with snow that we want to melt slowly over the spring. Oregon State climatologist Larry O'Neill says the problem is
it's actually been near normal to slightly below normal precipitation,
which means no water for crops and farm animals come summer.
Our food supply and our economy.
And electricity issues.
The amount of hydropower we could generate.
But there's also this.
If you want to build an ideal low-risk wildfire season, you would start off with having a good snowpack.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
O'Neill says Oregon is experiencing its second worst snowpack in state history. The new head of the Seattle Police Officers Guild is pushing back against the city's rules regarding ice enforcement. Here's KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay.
Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes says officers are required to document ice activity with their in-car and body-worn cameras and to verify the agents' identities.
By respectfully requesting official identification when safe and feasible.
I think that's very dangerous.
In an exclusive interview with the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 AM, new Seattle Police Officers Guild President Kent Liu says he does not expect officers to do that.
I don't really see it appropriate approaching a dynamic scene.
Barnes told a city council committee officers who don't comply with the policies could be put on administrative leave. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Utility crews are out there working overtime to get power back to thousands of customers. Latest numbers show 36,000 PSE customers still in the dark, just under 700 Snohomish County PUD, and 1,200 Seattle City Light. And now your weather update. We still have a rain-snow mix scattered around the region, and this will slowly clear out, though, through the evening. But tomorrow morning, we could see a repeat of this morning with some scattered snow showers, but they will be short-lived, turning partly sunny Saturday afternoon and a high tomorrow around 46. 36 and raining in downtown Seattle right now. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
I'm the tower of power, too sweet to be sour. I'm funky like a monkey. Sky's the limit and space is the place.
Get all that?
Wyatt loves that one.
I know. Why, we're going to retire that one. I know you love it.
All right, that's fine.
Let's put that in the... It's all right. No, new, always new stuff. All right, here we go, everybody. The John Curley Show. Thanks, everybody. This Friday. There's not enough water for the farmers in Yakima. Is that what they were saying in that piece that...
Ooh, I didn't hear.
Gee, whizzikers. Uh-oh. You didn't hear it?
No.
What, Nate's in here just talking to himself?
I had to go get a Snickers bar. I got you one, too.
I was preparing for the next segment. All right, Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. By the way, I saw a video of him saying, yes, I am bench pressing 300 pounds.
Cool.
Whatever. Moving on. He spoke about the state of Iran and leadership this morning. Here's Pete.
Iran's leadership is in no better shape. Desperate and hiding, they've gone underground, cowering. That's what rats do. We know the new so-called not-so-supreme leader is wounded and likely disfigured. He put out a statement yesterday, a weak one, actually, but there was no voice and there was no video. It was a written statement. He called for unity. Apparently killing tens of thousands of protesters is his kind of unity. Iran has plenty of cameras and plenty of voice recorders. Why a written statement? I think you know why. His father, dead. He's scared, he's injured, he's on the run, and he lacks legitimacy. It's a mess for them. Who's in charge? Iran may not even know. With every passing hour, we know, and we know they know, that the military capabilities of their evil regime are crumbling. They can barely communicate, let alone coordinate. They're confused, and we know it. Our response? We will keep pressing. We will keep pushing, keep advancing. No quarter, no mercy for our enemies.
Update on that. The leaders there in Iran are telling the people to go to the streets. Streets, they're telling them. And a lot of the government officials there in Iran are actually going into public places where a whole bunch of people are, and it certainly looks like they'd like to use them as human shields. They're not hiding anymore. They're out in public, but they're with big groups of people, and they're encouraging the citizens there of their country to go to the streets, march around, and scream and yell and defend this great country.
Also, you can hear it in Hegseth's statement. He's taunting the new Ayatollah, saying, written statement, that's not good enough. Where's your video? Where's your camera? Because he knows that, and that's how they found the previous Ayatollah, is they're using this Anthropic AI technology to locate him. Basically any picture, any video, anything he puts out has metadata in it and visual data that they can use to figure out where he is almost instantly.
There's a $10 million bounty out for his head right now.
Yeah.
Think of something, wouldn't it be a great movie if somebody decides that they, some guy from, Kansas decides he's going to try to get the $10 million. He's going to go over there and try to find the guy.
Rambo style.
Yeah, why not? ABC News reports the U.S. ground forces being diverted in the Middle East today. Here's ABC.
2,200 Marines based in Japan will be transported across on 3 amphibious ships, which is pretty standard. It's called an amphibious ready group. And they normally patrol inside the Indo-Pacific area, which is Asia. Yeah. But instead, they have been ordered and redirected towards the Middle East. What is important about this is that these are ground forces. We've talked about ships, we've talked about fighter aircraft, but this is a ground force that also includes aviation. They also have F-35s and V-22 Osprey aboard these ships. But from what we understand, this doesn't mean that the United States is preparing a ground force to go into Iran. This is just a capability, an option that is available to military planners because they always want to have as many forces available as needed. And these Marine units, this 31st MU as it's called, brings a lot of options and a lot of variability to the table. Now the question is, how long will they be there? And is it possible that we may see further of these units headed out to the Middle East as well?
And Louis, what are you watching for next?
Well, one of the things that we've talked about is what happens to the uranium stockpile. We've heard shifting narratives about how the United States is going to try maybe to use ground forces to try to seize some of the 430 kilograms of enriched uranium that Iran possesses, which most of it is believed to be underground at those facilities that were bombed by the United States.
Yeah, that's stuff they want to get. Now, in the meantime, people are like, well, what about me? What about me? What's going to mean to me? It's all gets down to oil. So the Strait of Hormuz is blocked at this point. They might let the ships from India go through and possibly from China to go through. But these gigantic tankers, they have to maneuver around the strait and be able to get through. If they can't, then you go back to what happened during, what is this? Do we have any sound from 2000? What is it, 1987?
1987, yes.
Hang on, Joe. This is when Reagan was in there from 87 to 88. They had U.S. military, Navy, were moving the ships through because the strait at that point was also being blocked. There were 275 that made it through there, and it does cost money to have every single one of these get escorted through. Did we find
Well,
any?
I might have pulled, see, you said 87, so I pulled the U.S.
Operation
attacking
Earnest?
the oil derricks there in the strait. Let me see if this is what you want.
Evacuate immediately. You have less than 1 minute.
8 a.m. in the Persian Gulf. 3 U.S. warships warn an Iranian oil platform at Syri, while 3 more get ready to attack another at Sasson. Both platforms have radar and communications equipment to help direct Iranian attacks against Gulf shipping. The firing begins. At Sasson, Marines board the platform to complete its demolition. Their job done, the ships steam away. At Syri, the fire is too hot for the Marines to climb aboard. Suddenly, a small Iranian missile boat is spotted headed toward the U.S. ships.
We engaged, and he fired at us simultaneously with a missile. The Simpson fired 3 Standard missiles, 2 of which hit the PTG. The Wainwright fired 1, which hit the PTG. We have subsequently closed it and fired another missile, and it's sunk.
Yeah. Okay. So the U.S. Battling there in 1987, there was 2. I think it was Operation Earnest. I forget the other one was Operation something. They always give these interesting names. Prime Chance. Also the same thing where they had Navy escorting the tankers through. The cost to the United States was pretty high at that point compared to where it is today. About $600 million would have cost in 1987. That would be $1 billion today. And that's what people have to look at. Okay, what's going to cost the U.S. to get the ships to go through the Strait of Hormuz? And they just do the math. They say, okay, so in order for us to have the Navy moving them through, those guys are no longer on a offensive move. They're on a defensive move, so there is a cost there. Plus, if we can't get them through, then they got to go around through Africa, the Cape of Good Horn, which is 7,500 miles, which increases the time for the oil to go through, which would normally be 1 day. It now becomes about 3 weeks. So the cost of that, to have the ship go all the way around, adds to the cost of the transport, the oil, and all the rest, plus insurance goes up. So then you think, okay, cost to U.S. to have the Navy, have those guys doing that work, or you're better off just having them go all the way around. You just look at the numbers on the side.
When you say it cost $1 billion today for the escort.
That was an $87, so it's $1 billion today.
Was that for just the entire operation, or is that per ship?
That's a U.S. cost in the military to have the Navy escort these ships through.
For a certain period of time.
Yeah, for 1 year. That's what it costs for them. So then they're like, okay, should we have them go all the way around again? Certain ships are making their way through and others are not. And the president was asked about this a couple of days ago. Are you going to have the Navy escort these oil tankers through? He said, we haven't made that decision yet. Because that's the big part of it. Because in about 4 weeks, we will start to really feel the effect when it comes. If they have to start moving all the way around, go all the way down and around from the insurance and the cost of the fuel and paying everybody on board these oil tankers, we will start to see more and more of that increased cost passed on to us. And then it's inflationary pressures. And that's the thing the president does not want to be facing when Congress comes up for election and we might be in the throes of higher inflation and people are like, oh, I feel in the pocket, because people vote. They don't care about much of anything else other than how's it affecting my budget at home.
And you said like the cost of oil is based on futures. So
it's a worldwide. So yes, we're producing more oil than we've ever produced before, but we throw our oil into the giant oil market. And then it's the cost of oil. They're buying always into the future on these things.
Right. So if the price of gas went up, this week based on Iran, that's it's almost like an artificial.
Yeah, that's a quick little pop they stick in there, just sort of cover themselves.
It's probably going to go up in a bit, so we'll just raise the price now.
Yeah, and it was interesting to see everybody. Oh, I can't believe it went up $1. How about when it went up 50 cents in order for us to cool the earth? People didn't have a problem with that.
You see other places going, oh my God, it's $4 a gallon. I've never.
Hey, come to Washington, where we are single-handedly saving from the existential threat of climate change. Yeah, it's a little insincere for people that are upset about it. Maybe you use less oil. And then I saw another study today that maybe more people are looking at EVs again, that an EV might be a better choice because then you have to pay $5, $6, $7, whatever it is. You're not going to get trapped again with the oil. And then, is it Revlon? Is that the name of it?
Yes. That's
Revlon or Revlon?
Revlon.
Yeah, they have a new one that's come out, $57,000. This is sort of their entry-level market EV, which will take you 300 and some miles on a single charge.
Well, some of the ones they have in China, which are
those are the best.
Oh, they're so cheap, too. They're amazing.
Can't buy them, though.
No.
We have 100% tariff we put on those things. Biden put them in place, and Trump kept it in place.
I've seen minivans that look like they're from 2200.
They're so cool.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you pick one up for I don't know.
30 grand or something.
Yeah, what's it cost a bunch of 8-year-old Chinese guys to build that thing? Nothing for all of us. Come on now. Pick one up for $10,000, $12,000.
Making our iPhones.
Just get us one of those EV things. That would make it a lot better. So as it is right now, the Strait of Hormuz is closed. They're letting some go through, but not U.S., and we are in the middle of this battle. Europe is going and meeting with European leaders, are meeting with Iran, which is a little odd because they don't like the fact that they've lifted the sanctions on Russia. So Russia has oil, and Russia is able to convert that oil to currency, and then they're continuing to fund the Ukraine war. So all that going on. It's always interesting that here we are. If you look at history, how many battles were because of transportation on water, right? When we put up the oil embargo in Japan and we wouldn't let anybody go through, that was one of the prime reasons that Japan decided they were going to bomb Pearl Harbor. We blocked them. It's all the different maneuvering that has happened on the open seas, where one nation after another nation, whether it's Spain and France, the UK, and of course Britain was so powerful because the Hail Britannia rules the waves, that any country that can control what's happening on the open waters really controls the commerce of the world. And now here we are one more time again. And the fact that there's gigantic tankers moving at 15 knots, that's it. And 3 weeks to go around, all the way around Africa.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it's such antiquated technology.
Isn't it? Yeah.
It's like we have the technology to be so far past oil.
Can't we get it up above 15 knots? I mean, that's fast, that great big thing. But we're still clunking along on the water, moving all of our oil around.
For technology that just is outdated, really.
Americans don't seem to have much patience for the president, and my advice to him, if he were to call, would be stop putting times out there. Don't say this is going to be over shortly. Don't say we're going to wrap this up in a week. Remember how Bush got pillared for the mission accomplished? Don't put that sort of stuff up. Because if you give somebody a timeline, okay, it's going to be over in 3 weeks, and when it's not over in 3 weeks, then you have a whole bunch of problems. Congress is asking to be involved. They can, at some point, they can cut off all funding, which he only has about a window of a couple of 100 days or something like that. And then they can say, no, we're not going to fund that thing. That's what stopped other wars, is when Congress says, nope, we turn off the spigot. We're not giving you any cash. You can't do it. Then the things just stop. They come to a complete stop. So eventually, at some point, they're going to be able to throw that switch, and then you're going to have a whole bunch of problems. Then you got to go back to Congress. It's like disobeying your parents. At a certain point, they cut off your allowance. You're like, well, my phone doesn't work anymore. Yeah, no kidding. You got to go because follow the money on all this sort of stuff. Boy, the day has just flown by, Joe, and I haven't had to play the guitar.
Hey, wait, we're not supposed to say that, first of all. Second, we don't even have time. We got Bigfoot guy.
Yeah, for those, who's the guy that wrote in the very beginning, said, why don't you get a real Bigfoot guy on?
That was, I believe it was...
So Jeremy Byron is going to join us. He has the Bigfoot Society podcast. Is he a believer? He's going to talk about all the sightings that have been happening in Ohio in the last couple of days and the new Bigfoot documentary, helping to explain the conspiracy-minded error of it. It's also in the Wall Street Journal, which is a great article about the original Bigfoot sighting.
Patterson film. And it was Roger and the 206 who
all right, Roger.
bullied us into
this. Is just for you. But first, here comes Lori checking traffic. Lori.
Traffic is brought to you by Seattle Sports. South Center to Alderwood now a half-hour drive, whether you take I-5 or 405. Tacoma to Olympia down to an hour, 25 minutes. 99 First South Bridge is open with a 25-mile-per-hour speed limit. US 2 closed, I-90 closed, and 410 still closed. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what, end up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
If you've saved more than $300,000, there's one thing you can do now that could make your savings go twice as far in retirement, and it's tax planning. That's right, tax planning could significantly reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, Social Security benefits, and other investment income. Charlie Harger here. Find out how much money you could save with a free retirement tax savings analysis from the good people at Boss Retirement Solutions. To schedule your free analysis, call 206-210-1350. Tax planning for retirement could reduce your taxes not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. And the savings could be six figures. Let's find out how much money you could save. Call 206-210-1350. 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
Buying a car is a big decision, but Carter Subaru makes it so easy. Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealership with more than 700 vehicles in stock, the largest selection in our state. And right now, you can get the 2026 Subaru Forester starting at 0.9% financing for 36 months. Shop now during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline or Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 3/31/26.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shelley Flace with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. The nicotine in e-cigarettes is addictive and can harm brain development. That's why I worry about teens who try e-cigarettes. Many young people use pod-based e-cigarettes like Juul, which have high levels of nicotine. And because teens' brains are still developing, they can quickly become addicted. The tobacco industry uses fruit and candy flavors to attract young people, often turning them into lifelong users. For more, visit healthychildren.org.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
Two competing budget proposals. Senators want to be aggressive, they say.
Traffic.
We have a stall on westbound 16.
Conversation.
If they pass this thing and Governor Ferguson signs it into law, I think there's going to be a mass political sea change in Washington State.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They're bringing it home again.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Hartley here from Wilcox Farms. For over 100 years, my family's been committed to doing what's right. At Wilcox Family Farms, that means caring for our hens with healthy pasture environments and a diet of organic grains and flax seeds. It's how we produce eggs that are wholesome, flavorful, and good for you. Next time you're at an egg case in your local store, we hope you feel good about choosing Wilcox eggs. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
At Madrona Financial and CPAs, we believe financial decisions should be made with clarity, not sales pressure. That's why we host weekly educational seminars and live webinars on retirement planning, tax strategies, and rental property decisions, designed to help you think more strategically about your future. Whether you prefer attending in person or joining from home, there's always something coming up. To see our upcoming schedule, visit MadronaFinancial.com. Madrona Financial and CPAs. Informed planning starts here. Madrona Financial Services is an SEC registered investment advisor.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good evening. I'm Nate Connors. Well, some of us were probably a little surprised to see snow in the forecast for Seattle in March. Meteorologist Ted Beener says it's certainly not the norm.
So if you look at a bell curve on snow in the Puget Sound area, it peaks in the month of January. And it slopes off on either side going back into the fall, December and November. Also slopes off as you go through February and into March and even April.
Yes, we have seen snow as late as the first 2 weeks of April. Well, Mother Nature has played a cruel trick with all of this snow. It is creating perfect conditions for our ski resorts, but you can't get to them. Stevens Pass, Snoqualmie Pass, and Crystal Mountain are all inaccessible because of current road closures. Facing a budget crisis, Sound Transit has proposed some cost-saving measures on the future West Seattle Link extension, or the 3-line. The elimination of the Avalon station, downsizing other stations, and purchasing less property are among the list. These new plans could save over $2 billion, down from $8 billion to $5.5 billion, without interrupting service plans that were approved by voters in 2016. Since then, costs have soared in construction, property values have jumped, and the agency is dealing with lower revenue. The board will consider consider adopting these new measures as soon as May for the final design phase. Well, passengers have been tested all day at SeaTac Airport, where weather-related delays have been steady. Bob Klein has been stranded in his plane for 8 hours and recently spoke with KIRO 7 TV.
Well, we're doing the best we can. The captain comes on every half hour and says they're doing what they can, but supposed to leave at 8:55 a.m., and it's been, as you said, practically 8 hours. No, it's very frustrating, and we can't go anywhere until we're de-iced.
And right now, there is another ground stop underway at SeaTac Airport, preventing flights from landing because there's no room on the tarmac. Average gas prices have gone up another 2 cents overnight in Washington. That puts you at about $4.76 a gallon for regular. The national average is $3.63. And while Washington's prices are considerably higher, they've been generally increasing more slowly than national averages. And now let's turn over to the real-time traffic desk and get an update with Lori.
Traffic is brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. And as Nate mentioned, getting to those passes, US 2 is closed, I-90 is closed, 410 is closed. Oh, but good news, the First South Bridge is finally reopened with a 25-mile-per-hour speed limit. If you're heading from South Center to Alderwood, it's a half-hour drive, whether you go I-5, 405, or same if you go Alderwood to South Center. So pretty easy drive in and out of Bellevue. Text app 2888-973-5476 to download the KIRO Newsradio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Thank you, Lori. A rain-snow mix is widespread this evening. This will begin to slowly thin out later this evening, but it will get freezing overnight, down to 32 here in the Seattle area, and that means slick roads and a chance for morning snow again tomorrow. 35 with a rain-snow mix in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, Teeny, if you'd be so kind to spin that wheel. It goes round and round, all the names of all the players. It is Wilcox Family Farms Eggs Recipe Wheel with the names of all the players. And brightly colored blue, green, yellow, pink is included in there. And lands on Wyatt. My goodness gracious.
Okay, very easy recipe, but one with many names. I'm going to go with Popeyes. Simple toast on a grill, cut a hole out the center, crack an egg in it, fry it. It's Popeyes.
It does go by many names.
Yeah, it does.
Egg in a hole.
One-eyed Egyptian.
There we go. Thank you for that. Let's look for it. It's going to be included in the leather brown book sent to your house, Wilcox Family Farm Eggs Recipes. All right. Jeremy Byron, you are a Bigfoot Society podcaster, and we welcome you to the show because we have who called in and said, hey, get a real guy on.
Well, we got a text message yesterday from Roger in the 206
yes.
saying, please get some real Bigfoot experts on the show, not those yahoos that have TV shows. They're idiots. Get somebody that might be credible. That's something I can get on board with. I think Bigfoots are everywhere in the U.S.
Jeremy, is that you?
Yes, so my name is Jeremiah Byron. I'm a podcaster. I talk to people about their encounters.
Yes.
And, I'm the guy who broke the news about the Ohio Bigfoot flaps, so I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Good. So let's talk about Ohio, but then I also want to talk about that new film that's come out in South by Southwest. Have you been following that story as well?
I just saw that as well, and I have been trying to get some access to that, and I haven't gotten it yet because it looks to be very interesting about the life of Roger Patterson, and I just have not verified anything about that film. It is so new.
But as you talk about Bigfoot, the Patterson story does come in because people go, well, that guy, he staged the thing in 1966. There's a film that was developed by somebody who's working over at Boeing, and it showed Patterson sort of faking some of this sort of stuff. But previous to that, there was the original one that came out in 1966. There was the real film, and then they think Patterson might have come up with his own sort of thing and then cashed in on all of that. And that, because of that cloud of possible deception, it then still floats in the air. And then when people hear, oh, Bigfoot in Ohio, well, that's another fake. Can you separate the two and clear some of that fog out of there for us?
I can absolutely do that. And I think that the Patterson-Gimlin film, in my opinion, is a true piece of history and an accurate film. It was filmed on October 20th, 1967. Now, let's say that film, if it never existed, talking to these people that have had experiences, I've been talking to them over the phone, and they have experienced something, the emotion that they've seen something in their backyard, 10 foot tall, black and hairy. They have been hiking and had something, 10 feet away. And it is some wild stuff that's going on in Ohio. I mean, these aren't as big as the ones you see in Washington and Oregon, but for Ohio, 10 feet tall is pretty huge.
When you listen and your podcast, when people do call in, you probably have a pretty well-tuned ear to people that legitimately feel like they saw something, and then the rest we're going to put into the little category of some kooky people.
So the reason I do the podcast, that's a great question, is I do it so that people have a place to be able to share what they've experienced and not be made fun of. And really, it's a respectful environment. So, it's not up to me to judge if the person is, as you say, kooky or, I'm there to help them work through their trauma. And these individuals that have had an experience really have some trauma to work through, John.
Like, what kind of trauma have they experienced when they see Bigfoot? Or have they had any actual interaction with these?
So, and are we talking about the Ohio one?
Yeah, Ohio. Or anybody that's gotten to you for your podcast, yeah.
Yeah, I've talked in Ohio, for example, a gentleman was taking his German Shepherd outside to use the facilities at 4 a.m. And there's a Bigfoot out there, 10 foot tall. And the German Shepherd lunged towards the tree line. But then when it saw what was actually out there, once the gentleman got him back inside, the dog was just a wreck. It was shaking uncontrollably. And a German Shepherd, that's not normal behavior for that breed. So that's one example. My goodness, I've talked to a lady that was in her 70s. She was very shook up about what she saw out her kitchen window. She was like, I know what I saw, but I didn't know what I saw. It was very, very interesting to talk to her, but they're shook out there in Northeast Ohio for sure right now.
How many sightings have there been in Ohio recently?
Absolutely. So right now, the public sightings are from March 6th to March 10th, and a total of 8 sightings. That is what's considered a flap in cryptozoology, and that hasn't been documented since the late 1970s, where a large amount of sightings happen in a short amount of time. This is a 12-mile radius, so it's very short distance area.
If science were to then be able, scientists and zoologists and biologists were to say, okay, yes, that is a species. We have notated. We now know what it is. We will possibly try to get some DNA. What does it mean for the understanding of all species in mammals out there? That if all of a sudden science were to say, yes, there are these beings that are this big, and they are, where do they evolve from? What are they part of? And where have they been, and how long have they been with us?
John, it's a great question. It all comes down to what they decide or what we figure out that it is. If it's a human ancestor, then does it mean that we're not the smartest on the food chain? Or if it's an undiscovered large primate in America, does that mean that there becomes a lot of protected land in certain areas for these massive creatures that are walking around? It's something to think about.
That's right. So if there are some, you can read some places where they believe there were giants. You ever seen those things that I don't know how many years ago there were giants or something with us, and people have found some fossils or something, and people quickly just dismiss all this sort of stuff. You have to look at all this, and you look at it. I love the fact that you come at this with an open mind, an open heart to look, I just want to hear what people have to say, and if we should follow the stories, and then hopefully the science catches up with all of it. If you're right, if all of a sudden they found out that it would be a protected class or something, and that this species is out there, we would then be able to learn from it. Do they tend to be afraid of any sort of interference? Are they shy? Are they aggressive? Have they ever attacked anybody?
Most encounters I get, John, they are seen as they just keep walking. There's nothing that's bothering them. In fact, sometimes the people even yell at the Bigfoot and they don't even look at him. Now, there are times like down in Southeast Oklahoma where if they're in an area where people are being aggressive towards them, then they're going to be aggressive back. But man, if you get put in a corner, wouldn't you do the same?
Yes, and if I were 10 feet tall and covered in hair.
Right.
So the Ohio sightings recently, has news picked this up, or does this go into the category of, the aliens and all this other stuff?
John, it is international news. I talked to the New York Times today, and that should be coming out maybe in a few days. The New York Post is running with it. The Fox News main channel is running with it. I've seen it in the India Times, in the UK, and multiple. So it is international news. Like something like this hasn't happened since the 1970s.
You haven't seen any Bigfoots caught up in the Epstein files, have you? Just making sure.
My friend Eric Palacios on his YouTube channel actually does FOIA requests, and he looked through those files, and they are mentioned in there.
No way.
Yeah.
I can look it up right now.
Yeah. You'll have to go to his channel to get more. So.
I set you up as a joke. I thought you'd have a good joke. Get out of here. Well, we know that Epstein was supposed to be involved with biology in Harvard and stuff like that. So what do you think? Let's say that, okay.
Oh, my God, it's there.
Is it really?
Yep.
What?
He knows his stuff.
He does.
2 PDF files, data set 11, data set 9, both have Bigfoot mentioned.
Oh my God! Are you mentioned in it?
A sound effect?
Yeah, we threw that in there. Are you mentioned anywhere in the Epstein files? Just making sure.
No, sir.
No,
not at all.
All right, check his name. I mispronounced it again. Check it.
Check it, I guess.
What? Okay, let's say we agree this is a legitimate species. How does the world change or anything change as a result, other than the fact that maybe that life you got to cordon off these areas and things? Does it make you feel like, okay, see, all of these stories were true, and now we have a better understanding of another species?
I believe that the stories the accounts I hear are definitely true, and I think it's going to be a way that humankind will need to learn how to play nice with something that is very smart in ways that science doesn't understand. And it's kind of similar in some ways to, the UAP disclosure that is kind of in the background and might be coming out. We'll see if that comes out from the government. But I think Bigfoot is brewing up as well. So,
well, I will be now a fan of your Bigfoot Society podcast. We'll be listening more intently to the work that you're doing there, and it is a place where your stories, people's stories, are welcome, and research hopefully continues, and science maybe finds that Bigfoot is a legitimate species. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys.
All right, here he goes. Look for that in the New York Times as well. All right, and then New York Post.
That's right. And the Epstein
Here comes
files.
Lori checking traffic. Lori.
Northbound I-5 at 164th. Look out for a stall in the left lane. And for all the rough closures of our mountain passes, we have a really easy drive, 405 and I-5 from Alderwood to South Center and vice versa. Tacoma to Olympia looking better, just an hour, 16 minutes. Southbound I-5 at the T-Dome, we have 2 lanes blocked with a collision, making your drive Federal Way to Tacoma about 10 minutes slower than usual. So yeah, US 2, I-90 and 410 closed overnight. Oh, but the North 99 for South Bridge is reopened with a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
I want to tell you, there's a lot more room in your house for storage than you're aware of. And maybe you're thinking, well, I got to throw out a whole bunch of stuff and recycle a bunch and give a bunch away. Maybe I'm going to have to get a storage unit or something. That's not going to be the case. I can't guarantee it, but I can tell you this. I can guarantee the fact when Closets by Design comes into your home, they see places where you can get cabinets, where you can get storage, and where you can have a place for everything. Reduce the stress in the house and have just organization that has been escaping you prior to this moment. The Closets by Design, 22 years in business, a family-run business. They came out to the barn, I don't know, maybe half a year ago, and they came up with cabinets and built stuff that matched the woodwork. That's truly customized. Then they completely redesigned the garage, a whole wall of cabinets there, and then the master bedroom and all the closets. It was great. So fun working with our good people there at Closets by Design. Totally customized. Really, really doing the trick for us. And the nice thing is, they're going to give you 40% off and 15% off. Big savings. First, you got to have them come into your house and they'll show you. Closets by Design. That's Closets by Design.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-777-1225.
Hey, this is Pete from Home Matters. Tune in this weekend when we'll talk with local business owners about everything in and around your home. Join us on Saturdays from 2 to 3 right here on KIRO News Radio or listen to the podcast on mynorthwest.com.
You didn't work hard to watch your retirement unravel. You saved, you sacrificed, you built something meaningful for yourself and for your family. Hi, I'm elder law attorney Rajiv Nagaich. I've seen what happens when unexpected health events collide with traditional retirement plans. Savings that took decades to build drains away faster than anyone expected. At LifePoint Law, we help you build a life plan to help you protect your assets and way of life. If you are retired or thinking about retiring, now is the time to double-check your retirement plan.
Attending a free seminar now can help prevent your entire life savings from being devastated. Some simple planning will ensure you don't run out of money. Seats are filling up and your family's future is too important to delay. Sign up now for the next seminar in Bellevue on the 12th, Federal Way on the 14th, and Everett on March 17th. Learn more at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
Do you like helping others? Become a Shiva volunteer. In Pierce County, join the hundreds of volunteers across Washington state who help over 90,000 people each year with their Medicare options and questions. You don't have to know Medicare. We'll teach you. And if you're bilingual, even better. For more information and how to apply, call Shiva at 1-800-562-6900 or go to insurance.wa.gov.
Sponsored by the Office of the Insurance Commissioner and aired by the Washington State Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Hartley Wilcox here. Do you know where your food comes from? If it's perishable, you should read the package. Wilcox Farms eggs are locally fresh from Washington. For the freshest choice, choose Wilcox Family Farms.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out video only.
It's a great time to visit Subaru of Puyallup during the Subaru A Lot to Love event for extra savings through March 31st. Visit your stress-free dealership, SubaruofPuyallup.com.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Advanced Hair Restoration.
Getting ready for Teeny. No time for her songs, Hudson, right?
No, just quick little blip.
But there we go. That's it. That's all good. We got a letter of the day first. Take care of all the rest. Here we go. Joe.
Dennis in Seattle says, thank you, Lori, for telling me about the RV show. I guess I'll see you down there. But don't buy all the RVs. Save some goodies for me.
Is that Tina? And Tina on YouTube says, I'll never hear Bumper to Bumper or Bone on Bone the same again.
That's right. That's what you did. This is a Jesse B with a Friday haiku. Wyatt, if you wouldn't mind. Rats plot takeover. Spiders jumping on the bed. Silent sounds quite loud.
Nice. Carla in the 425 says, hey, Joe, what's that guitar about? Just tuned in. Did John play it, or is he going to play it?
Apparently,
it was going to be for the Buc-ee's thing, but Wyatt picked a crappy song.
Okay, blame Wyatt. Old Man John says, someone tell that gal how to pronounce puke it all up properly. Also, it snowed on the 4th of July in 1971 or 72 in Yelm, Washington. I was there. It happened, and it was a big deal.
David, the naked mailbox guy, says, have a nice weekend and happy 420.
Hermanos.
Yes.
Sherman in Lake Tapp says the Strait of Hormuz is the only route to get ships out of the Persian Gulf. There's no second route where you could go all the way around Africa. You might be thinking of the Red Sea or Suez Canal, where a ship would need to go around Africa if they could not get through the canal in the Mediterranean.
And now it is time for the letter of the day.
I'm sorry. I was thinking Cape of Good Hope. I'm sorry. Stand corrected.
Yes. All right, I got to find the...
So many.
I don't need it. All right. This comes to us from James in Bellevue.
Okay.
He says, John, as a longtime listener, I fear that some of your classic sound bites are being lost. Make sure Andrew has these at his fingertips.
Yes.
Wyatt, I'll need your help. That's a great question. And
it's such a great question. I ask myself that every day.
Okay, that's Liv from Washington.
Don't cry about it.
Don't sit and cry about it.
Good one, commies.
Good job, commies.
Oh, yeah.
Is there going to be cocaine on my pizza today?
Is my pizza going to be covered in cocaine today?
Yes.
Back in rotation, officially.
Good. So many other. Get those drops back in there again. Thank you for
That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote.
See, it really is the people's show.
That's right.
It is the people's show.
In real time.
Which reminds me of a song. Here comes Lori checking traffic. Don't buy all the RVs. Lori, here we go.
Tacoma to Olympia down to an hour, 16 minutes. 2 lanes blocked southbound I-5 at the T-Dome, making your drive actually just 12 minutes. Federal Way to Tacoma, US 2, I-90 and 410 will be closed overnight. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
2 competing budget proposals. Senators want to be aggressive, they say.
Traffic.
We have a stall on westbound 16.
Conversation.
If they pass this thing and Governor Ferguson signs it into law, I think there's going to be a mass political sea change in Washington State.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They're bringing it home again.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Save $10 on a pair of Rain X Latitude wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Our professional parts people will even install them for free.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Febreze. New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor. Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Ready to free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at AmazonBusiness.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we know that keeping your home watertight and dry is essential to your family's safety and comfort. Having well-functioning gutters prevents water damage to your home and prolongs the life of your roof. Whether you need a cleaning or a complete gutter install, we do it all. Call today and get $250 off a gutter installation and visit us at guardianroofing.com.
The G and Ursula Show.
If you want to see what I'm wearing today, check out Mrs. Roper.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
A moo-moo is like a bank. You never know how much is in it.
On KIRO News Radio and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Many financial plans include some level of tax awareness. When retirement begins, considering taxes isn't enough. One overlooked tax decision can quietly cost families thousands over time. At Madrona Financial and CPAs, your plan isn't built around products. It's built around coordination. Licensed CPAs and experienced advisors working together, aligning investments, retirement income, and intergenerational planning using tax-efficient strategies. Madrona Financial and CPAs. Planning built on credentials. Madrona Financial Services is an SEC registered investment advisor.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. It's gray whale season in the Salish Sea when migrating gray whales make a pit stop in Puget Sound to feed before resuming their journey to Alaska. The team from Puget Sound Express report that there are 9 grays currently in the area, including some new unidentified grays that naturalists are eager to learn more about. Gray whales come to the area to feed on ghost shrimp and are the only bottom-feeding whale we know of, scooping up shrimp in the shallow waters near Whidbey Island. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed gray whale tours departing from Edmonds and Port Townsend to see these gentle giants. And although grays are the focus of the tours, Big's orcas are also in the area. Puget Sound Express tours are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. They guarantee you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com. Schedule your tour today at PugetSoundExpress.com.
G and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
There's nothing like the taste of the very first fruit.